Well, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Today, we got a special guest, Mr. Steve Caballero.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Dude, thanks so much for coming. This is
making that drive.
incredible. It's an honor. It's a privilege. It's everything.
I was wondering when you guys were going to give me the call. I'm like, oh, cool. That guy's on it. He's on it. Like, how come they don't want to call me? Am I not cool enough?
Oh, you are.
I'm telling you, when I hit that send button, I was trembling. I was like, I don't know if he's going to respond. Does he even check his DMs? I don't know. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Could be better.
Yes.
Broke my femur a little over a month ago. Riding some dirt bikes, made a little mistake, I'm paying for it.
You ride dirt bikes, you jump. What mistake did you make? You went over the top of the handlebars, right?
I did. I endoed and flipped over the bars. There was nothing I could save it with. I mean, I've been riding for a while, and I know what can go wrong, but I was riding fast, and that's the whole deal when you're riding dirt bikes. You want to go faster, you want to jump bigger. It's like skating. You want to do things bigger, longer. I have the same mentality with dirt bikes, you know, and I love dirt bikes a lot because it reminds me of skating.
Oh, does it?
You know, because you get to this certain level where the bike ends up becoming like one with you, and then things start to turn to be easier. Yeah. You know?
I could imagine it starting off like you're riding this big machine, this big beast, and then slowly it just becomes
Well, I started
normal.
on the smaller machines first.
Oh, did you?
And I worked my way up.
Okay.
So now I'm up to the biggest machine, and that's a Cowie 450.
Now, when you're going off these jumps, like you don't have a speedometer, right? Yeah,
No speedometer.
How fast are you going though?
Don't really know, but
No?
I was going faster than I should have.
Oh, seriously?
And there was a section there was 3 jumps. There's a triple step up, then a smaller jump, and then there's another jump that's right after that's a little bit bigger.
Okay.
Did the triple step up, and I was going super fast towards this jump, and then you cut the motor off and you try to like scrub the jump where you kind of tip the bike over and try to go low over the jump and then get back on the gas.
Oh.
And then my friend was shooting the jump after. Was going to do kind of like a little whip, you know, stick my foot out, like just kind of like a little styly thing.
A little showboating.
Yeah. So I was going super fast, and I cut the throttle too late. And you don't ever shut the bike off right off the lip. And I did it. And it just instantly endoed me. And when it drops down, your front end drops down, to save it, you give it gas. It's called a panic rev.
Oh.
So I'm panic revving in the air, and it's still going. And then at that point, I was like, hold on, close your eyes.
Oh my gosh.
Take it.
Take one for the team. And when I woke up, I couldn't move my leg.
Oh, you blacked out.
I think just for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was just laying there, and I could hear people around me, and I tried to move my leg, and it wasn't moving. I'm like, okay,
no.
it's busted.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So no real pain.
No pain.
Isn't that weird? Your body just kind of shuts off.
It was weird.
It's strange.
But you know, it was kind of like one of those things where probably in shock.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a big bone.
it wasn't sticking out. You know,
thank God.
Yeah, so it was
Yeah.
like a spiral fracture. So I just closed my eyes and just sat there and waited for the ambulance to come. You know, and they shot me up with everything they needed to numb it up and drug me up.
Huh.
And obviously, there's no pain after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. It's like good time after that.
Yeah,
Almost.
you're like, take me anywhere. Let's do this. Yeah.
And then I go to the hospital, and I talk to the doctor for a little bit, and they're like, "Yeah, you're going into surgery." And I'm like sitting there, and I'm like not going to say no.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's do this.
Like, give me a Starbucks first. Like, let's.
Give me a double shot.
Yeah.
I've never had surgery in my life.
Never
So,
under the
Wow.
knife. Me neither.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they said, okay, we're gonna, give you something, and then you're gonna get knocked out, and we'll be done. And 10 minutes later, I wake up, which I thought was 10 minutes later.
Yeah,
but it was
yeah.
3 hours.
Right.
The surgery's done, and I'm being wheeled into my my room.
3-hour surgery.
Yeah,
quick.
two surgeons.
2 surgeons.
Yeah, and it didn't hurt. Like, still no pain.
The whole time.
The whole time.
From when you endoed the bike to you
pain.
never felt anything.
No.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I can trip off stuff
That's
like
nice.
that.
Were you wearing a cast afterward, or were you just kind of? You're not wearing a cast right now.
No cast.
Oh, wow.
And I think the reason why they do that is because they want you to be mobile and be able to move your leg. And, casts can actually ruin your muscles and your tendons
Oh,
for
totally.
being like stiff for that
Atrophy,
long.
yeah.
Atrophy. Yeah. So since day one, I've been moving my ankles and moving my legs, and I feel like I'm going to come back pretty quick.
It's amazing. Yeah.
And PTs. The guy is already telling me, I went to PT yesterday, and he's already telling me, like, you're doing really well.
Wow.
You got mobility. And so I'm on the road to recovery. But yeah, a cast does, it can hurt you.
For sure. Yeah.
And I guess they don't do that anymore. And I have a metal rod that goes in my femur with pins.
Okay.
And then I have another one that goes in my hip. Because they found a crack right here up in my hip.
Oh, jeez.
Well, that's good. You didn't have to get hip replacement or anything.
They kept looking at that. They did an MRI, and so that's why I can't walk. Oh. That's why I'm on the crutches till the 18th. They don't want weight on my leg.
Right.
Because if I didn't have that extra rod, I'd be walking out of the hospital.
Seriously.
Yeah.
What an ordeal, man.
So I got metal in me now.
For good. They're not going to remove it.
I'm not going to remove it.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's cool. And the guy said, the surgeon said that once this heals, it should be stronger than my other leg. So.
You'll be bored.
Tom, hook the other side.
Be bored slide around that combi pool in no time.
That board slide you did in Shanghai? God, that was nuts.
Thank you. That took a while too.
Oh, did it?
And I was so bummed because Hawk was filming it, and so we kept going and doing it, and like I was dropping in while other guys were trying to practice. Like me and Christian and Tony Alva went earlier that day. Just to skate it, you know, because the courses look really fun when you go and like, I'll be kind of cool to skate it. So we got there before all the pros, and then I started skating and then doing tricks, and then we started doing that board slide, and then the guys show up, and then I'm trying to like not get in their way.
Right.
And then Tony shows up. He's like, hey, I want to film that. So then we start doing it, and it's kind of a long board slide, but it's different like angles. So I had to get on, go around a corner, go straight, go around a corner, go straight, and then come off. So it's like a lot of body movements. Yeah. It's not something that you can just do first or third try.
And plus you're balancing on just that, that little section of rail.
Yeah. He's right behind me, and then
after go land it already.
After like the 20th, 25th time, I'm like, okay, Tony, like 2 more. We don't have to do this. They're done. And then I made it.
Sick.
So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
I was stoked. And then, especially if Tony's filming, I'm like, cool, man. He's going to post it. Even better.
He's got a few followers. Yeah. He's got a few followers.
He does. Like when I first started like seeing his followers, he had like 1 million. Yeah. And I just checked. Now he's like 4 million.
4
like,
million.
I did go from 1 to 4 in like a couple years. Like
he's Tony Hawk, man.
Yeah.
He's
Bagel Bite.
Yeah, Bagel Bite. He's crazy. Did you give him filmer credit on your post?
I did.
Yeah, okay.
I always do. Okay. I try to give everybody credit, just because, who doesn't want to be noticed?
It's just the right thing to do.
They put in work too with you. You know what I mean? So
for sure.
Yeah. So everything else good though. The hips healing. Like you said, you're going to be walking come pretty soon here.
Well, on the 18th, I have a doctor's appointment.
So they'll check it out.
They'll x-ray it again and see if the hip part is completely healed. Yeah. Because it was a hairline fracture.
Gotcha.
And then I hope I get the green light to walk. Yeah. Because forgot what that felt like.
Oh, yeah.
Any time frame for when maybe get back on the board? At least pushing.
Yeah, that's everyone's question. Yeah, and I guess it's really going to depend on my body and how much work I put into the physical therapy.
It's the most important part. Physical therapy
and how my body feels, because we all know our bodies. Mm-hmm. Doctors can only like prescribe like, hey, you're not going to be able to do this until this time. Sure, like we know our bodies. Like I know how long it's going to take, and it's going to depend on my recovery and how healthy I am. Mm-hmm. But I know between riding dirt bikes and skating, you can ride dirt bikes hurt.
Okay. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
You can't skate hurt.
Yeah.
It's
No.
very-
There's too many muscles and joints moving that every little like joint movement, it hurts.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I know that I have to be completely healed if I want to skate.
Of course. Yeah.
You know.
And skating is not going anywhere, you know.
You haven't.
It's not.
No.
Not that I know.
I
of.
hope not.
Not
Yeah.
that I know of.
Like you haven't. You said you haven't had surgery until that one recently.
Mm-hmm.
Had you ever taken a break because of an injury before that you were out for like a couple months at all?
Yeah, I've had 2 other breaks in my body.
Oh, okay.
1991, I broke my right ankle at the Kennedy warehouse doing a tail grab varial.
Okay.
And I just kind of threw it in. It was kind of like I shouldn't have just thrown it in and tried to land it, but I did. And my foot rolled off.
Oh.
And as soon as it did that, I knew it was broken. Like
That's straight
Yeah.
away.
I've never felt that feeling before, but it was like hairline fractures, so it wasn't that bad.
Okay.
But that was like 6 weeks in a cast.
Yeah.
And then you're healing pretty quick after that, right?
That was a weird one to get back on.
Yeah.
It felt weird, like even skating, the numbness and the twang. Like I didn't do like physical therapy after. I didn't even know what that was.
Right.
Yeah.
91. There's not.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It
yeah.
wasn't a trend like physical therapy. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in 2012, I broke 2 bones in my collar.
Oh, your collar.
Yeah, my shoulder. Riding dirt bikes.
Okay.
Another, I got cross-rutted and went over the handlebars and broke 2 bones. And the doctor was mentioning surgery, so I was a little scared, like about getting surgery.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, let me take an MRI and really check it out." And he did, and it was broken in the right way, where I just had to be a sling for
Yeah.
like 6 weeks.
Okay.
Okay.
So I got out of that one.
Yeah, yeah. The ankle's sketchy too because I feel like when you get back, when you start back from an ankle, there's always kind of this uncertainty of like,
Ankle doesn't feel
do I
right at all.
trust it?
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah.
Is it going to hold up?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Am I going to do it again?
And I've hurt this right ankle riding dirt bikes. Like I've come up on jumps, overshot them, landing on the flat 20 feet, and then like landing on the peg and hyperextending and hurting my ankle, which has caused me not to be able to skate.
Sure.
But I could still ride.
Yeah.
It hurt
Right.
because you're just kind of on the pegs. You're not moving, and there's no flicking of the foot or anything. So I was even riding where I was like taking weight off this foot, putting all my weight on this foot, riding so I could ride. Yeah,
really?
with one foot.
Oh my gosh, Cab.
Have you
That's
gotten
how much
hurt?
I love dirt bikes.
Yeah. Have you gotten hurt more dirt biking or skateboarding?
Sounds like dirt bike.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, obviously now major injuries have been dirt biking, but I've had my share fair of,
I'm sure you have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all.
Yeah.
of injuries, like
Yeah.
sprained wrists, scrapes. I got a concussion the first time I ever rode a backyard pool.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
No helmet.
No helmet, dodo head. Like I just had left Winchester Skate Park, which you had to wear helmets, you had to wear elbow pads, knee pads, wrist guards. I mean, you cannot get away back, in the late 70s.
You were full kitted up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
didn't want
And
to
if you
see it.
didn't, you would get yelled at. Like there was a pad patrol guy there.
Pad patrol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I left to go skate this backyard pool that these guys want to take me to. And I'd just seen all these backyard pools in magazines. I'm like, I'm going to get to skate my very first backyard pool, and trying to go over the steps. And then next thing I know, my friend's waking me up. Dude, are you okay?
Oh, no.
I'm like, what happened? Like, you try to go over steps and you hung up and you got knocked out. So I go back to the skate park, because back then I used to get dropped off at the park at 9 a.m. and then
Okay.
get picked up at
Well,
9 p.m.
how old were you at this point?
14.
14. Okay.
Yeah. And I had the biggest lump on my head. Like it went
Oh.
right
above your eye.
Yeah. And I walk into the park, and then the park manager are looking at me. They're just shaking their heads. Like, you weren't wearing your helmet.
Yeah.
You should have been here at the park.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. But that's the only time I've ever been knocked out
Yeah.
until
The
recently.
dirt bike, yeah. So, but let's get into we were just talking about 14 backyard pools and stuff. You started skating what, 12?
I like to think it was like age 12, getting
12-ish.
serious about it.
Okay.
Maybe it was 11, kind of
yeah.
fiddling around with it. And, back then, 75, 76, it's like people had skateboards, but they weren't like the modern skateboards you have today. They had clay wheels, steel wheels, and there was, urethane at that time, because urethane didn't come out till 1973.
Oh.
Like, I have a full collection of boards that I've collected from the 60s.
Oh, wow.
And there's nothing urethane on those boards. It's all clay, plastic, steel wheels.
Huh.
So that's a pretty rad era of how skateboards were made and developed.
Sure.
But I wouldn't ride one today. They're
sketchy. Can you imagine?
Sketchy.
Yeah, board sliding in a pool with steel wheels.
Yeah. Not fun. And I can see why the sport did not progress very fast at that time.
Right.
Man.
And so what was your first, like, legitimate board?
I did have one of those roller 10s. It's a red board, skateboard roller 10 with the steel wheels. I mean, I rode one of those. I also went to the sporting goods store and got a GT and a Cal 240, which was a plastic board, and actually that had urethane wheels on it.
Okay.
But we didn't have precision bearings.
Oh.
Just with balls.
Yeah, so the nut that held the wheel on held the bearings and the wheel together. So if the nut came loose, the ball bearings would fall out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so they came that way, though. You're not putting together your board.
No,
it's
the boards
just
were
manufactured
complete.
like that.
Yeah, when
Gotcha.
you bought your board at a sporting goods store, there was no skate shops.
Sure.
It was completes, all completes. Well, not that I knew of. And then, so like my first introduction of skateboarding was just kind of trying to go down the driveway and make that right turn to the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And your wheels would get loose and bearings would fall out. And here I am, like, on the ground, like, trying to find all the bearings and put them back in the wheel and tighten it back up. That was my extent of learning to skate. And, just kind of going up and down the sidewalk. And
Sure. Butt boarding. And
you name it, everything like what Lance was talking about, like just playing tag, putting like large pieces of plywood on top of your skateboard and just pushing, trying to run your buddy off, the sidewalk into the grass, to like getting the board and just throwing it as fast as you can at a lip and just trying to see how far the board goes. Just fun stuff like that,
Yeah.
Right.
To learn how to tic tac, and then I'd go to a school and I'd push super fast and it was super slippery. You get on your tail and try to slide and see how far you can go on your tail,
Right.
and then put the board back down.
Right. You had the tail guards.
The tail skids?
Tail skids.
Yeah, they had tail skids, and then some of them like were flat, so they didn't have a kick tail. So, I mean, I used to read Skateboarder magazine back in the day, and I'd see that there was some boards that had like a little kick. So I remember taking my plastic Cal 240 and putting it over the stove and heating it up. Yeah.
Wow.
And then bend it to make a kick tail.
Wow.
Did it work?
It worked.
Really?
Yeah.
Mom's like, what are you doing? I'm cooking my board.
She wasn't around.
Okay.
I mean, if she was around, she probably wouldn't be stoked to be doing that.
Right.
And then to the thing where there was no grip tape. So I'd go to the hardware store and get the tape that they use for steps. To, so you
Traction
wouldn't use your, so you wouldn't use your grip.
Yeah.
And I'd put that on top. Because I'd read the magazines once again, and I'm like, oh, what's that on top of the board? Oh, that's must help you with
So you're just trying to DIY it from what you're seeing in the mags.
everything. Everything
Yeah.
was about reading the magazines. Oh, a ramp. I'm gonna build one.
Yeah,
So I didn't know how to cut a transition, so I just made like a plank, and then I put another piece of wood down, and just kept doing that to make the tranny. So I have some, like, in some of the old Powell videos, I have like Super 8 film of me doing backside kick turns.
Okay.
And so I learned how to kick turn on
This is in San Jose.
in San Jose in my driveway. Yeah, just finding wood in the backyard and just building.
Just doing what you can. Right.
Yeah, and then like once again reading the magazines. Oh, what's that on their elbows? Pads. Where do I get those? Go to the sporting goods store, soccer pads, and then you get the helmet. And they didn't have skateboard helmets back then, so you wore hockey helmets.
Okay.
So I had a Cooper. Yeah, the CCM Cooper helmets. Yeah.
Good thing you didn't
No
get
face
a
guard?
Yeah, you can
No
get
face guard.
get a goalie's mask. So when you're in San Jose, and like you said, you're maybe 12 years old and everything, and then, but you got on Powell pretty quickly.
79.
Correct. 79. How are you progressing so quick? We're talking about like a couple years.
So after I started fiddling around with skating and looking at the magazines, I started seeing like, oh, these skateboard parks are being built in Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
They had designs and all this stuff that looked really like something you'd find on the moon, just craters and like turns. And I'm like, that looks fun. So my dad used to take me to Disneyland every year. And I remember going one year and seeing this skateboard park right across the street, right there in Orange. And it was called the Concrete Wave.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my dad, Dad, next time we come to Disneyland, can we go here? So I think it was like 6 months later we came, and I brought a best friend with me. And so I could already do kick turns because I built those ramps.
Sure.
So I went and did the park for the first time, got my membership. They had a pool back there, and I was doing kick turns, and I was actually getting almost close to the tile.
Oh.
Yeah. And people were like super stoked, like, because there's this little kid,
Sure.
Yeah. I was like, around 12, 13 at that time. And so for me being 12 or 13 at the time, I think I looked like 9.
Okay.
Because I was always been super short, and small. But then they had this run called the Snake Run. And the first turn was backside, but then the second one was front side.
Uh-oh.
And I could not do it.
Couldn't do the
I'd
front
never
side.
went front side ever, And I'm like, because I never tried to practice front sides on the ramp.
Yeah.
It's like I just saw guys, because every time you see a picture in the magazine, guys doing a backside kick turn.
Well, backside just feels natural, right?
Yeah.
You're just kind of going up. It seems like the right thing to do.
Well, you can see what you're doing the whole time.
Exactly, yeah.
Front side's a little blind because you have to kind of look over your shoulder and your back's behind. So I never did that. So it was really difficult for me to, and plus I didn't know how to carve, So loosening the trucks and trying to carve and then trying to make that front side turn and then had another backside and a front side. So once I got that, I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. Like it's like a little flowy type thing. And I had the best time ever.
It became your Disneyland.
It was like amazing. I was like, that's kind of what got me hooked on. Like,
did your bearings ever fall out in the Snake Run?
I think I had a better board at that time. I think the board I had gotten, it was a Type Age freeformer, and it was another sporting goods store find where it was in a box. There was a picture of him like jumping over a car, and then a picture of him doing a kick turn, and it's all made of mahogany. It said freeform. It had grip tape on the top.
Oh, okay.
It had these freeformer trucks and then these urethane wheels. I think those might have been sealed. Pretty sure. And that's the board I took down to the park.
Oh,
so that was my first introduction to a pro board, pro skater.
Wow.
Yeah, so Type Age, and which is cool. I got to meet him years later.
Oh, yeah?
You
You tell him like, I bought your board in the box.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it was at a Skateboard Hall of Fame where he's being inducted.
Okay.
So I got to take a photo with him and everything.
First time you met him was there?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because, those skaters back then in the late 70s, they kind of disappeared.
Sure.
And they just kind of been surfacing because of these Skater of the Years, getting inducted.
Hall of Fame stuff. Yeah. Right. You got inducted, right?
Yeah, 2010.
2010. I'm waiting for the call. I don't know if but,
Give another 20 years.
Yeah.
You never know. There's guys that,
Podcast Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Chris is a Hall of Fame for
sure.
podcasting.
Yeah.
Not my skateboard ability. But so that park became your Disneyland, pretty much. You'd go down there.
I only went there once.
Oh, the only one. You got a membership and all this stuff, and you only went there once.
You had to. Every park that you went to, you had to get a membership.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you cannot ride without signing the receipt, release form, and then getting your membership.
Oh, okay. And so did
Every
anything? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, every skate park.
Every park.
Yeah, so every skate park had a card.
Did then parks were popping up in San Jose, or
Well, then I heard through the grapevine that there was a park being built called Winchester Skate Park off Winchester Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
So I went there, and there was a fence, and I was looking over the fence. I'm like looking at all the bowls and the snake runs and the mogul bowls and the half pipes. I'm like, this is gonna be cool. I cannot wait for it to open.
It's like Christmas.
Yeah, it was. I was like, now I get to just be local, and it wasn't very local. I lived on the east south side of San Jose, and this
Okay.
was on the total west side in Campbell, which is about 20, 30 minutes away. So, I mean, I didn't drive at that time.
back then, right? I mean,
Yeah, so I'd either have my mom drop me off at the park, or I'd take the bus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was really dedicated, and I really wanted. I fell in love with skateboarding, and that was something that I really wanted to do. And when I first went to the skateboard park, got my membership at Winchester, it was a weekly thing. I couldn't wait to go back the next week.
Every week.
Yeah. And then
Weekends, probably.
only on weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah, because school
Sure.
during the week, and it cost like $275 for like 2 hours. Cause
Were you mowing lawns?
Oh, wow.
No,
How
my
did you-
parents would pay
Okay.
for it. You
Okay.
know, my mom and dad were very supportive
Oh, good.
with skating.
Yeah.
I was pretty spoiled when I was a kid.
Oh, were you?
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whatever I wanted, I normally got.
I love that.
And I think they kind of felt bad because I'm the youngest of 5. And my brother that's next to me is 5 years older than me.
a
And
big
then
gap.
6 years, and then 7, and then 9, 10.
They're off doing stuff and you're left behind.
I felt like I was an only child.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being, family of 5.
Sure.
I did not hang out or grow up with them.
The youngest is always they always get a little special privileges,
Well, especially if you're so far apart
Run
from
a
them,
block,
like in
too.
age-wise.
I didn't hang out with them.
Yeah.
Right.
that's-
And then my dad had left my mom and divorced her at age 11.
Oh, wow.
So it was just me and my mom and my brother.
Okay.
So my dad was like I said, very supportive. Like if I wanted a skateboard, I could just go and get one.
Sure, sure.
I mean, I didn't take advantage of that, but I just got what I needed. But they never said no. They were never like not down for it.
That's great.
Definitely, they were my first sponsor.
Yeah. sure. Yeah.
You know. And then all of a sudden, I hear about this another skateboard park being built called Campbell Skate Park, which is on the other street on the other side, like Winchester, and here's Campbell, like a mile away.
From your house. Oh, no, from each
from
other.
the park. This is still like 30 minutes away.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, oh my goodness, another skateboard park? Well, I got to go check that one out.
Yeah.
So I get my membership there. And then all of a sudden I hear like, I think they were kind of competing with each other, and they wanted to, Campbell really wanted to bring people in. So they offered a deal where it was $30 a month. You could skate every day.
As much as you wanted.
Yeah, for $30. So I did the math.
Okay. So I'm paying $275 over
That's
here.
$1 all day versus $275 for 2 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
I left Winchester. Bye-bye.
Later.
See you, Wolfman. It was Dan and Dave.
Okay.
And they were and so I went to Campbell. And so now that I could skate once a day, I started taking the bus after school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And going a lot more.
Alone?
Alone.
I mean, back then, yeah,
Alone.
14 years old, it's fine. Take the bus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I started going there, started meeting some friends. The people just wanted, they were attracted to me, maybe because I was just so into it, you know? And then I started seeing pros. I met Peter Gifford, who was a pro on Hout there. I saw Kevin Reed there. Never saw Rick Blackheart at a skate park, and he was a guy that I looked up to in the magazines.
Oh.
And he was very famous at that time. But I guess he got kicked out before Winchester even opened, just because he was kind of a rebel.
Okay.
One of those dudes that did not deal with the
No rules.
rules. And I think he
Authority.
tried to run over the skate park owner on his street bike in the parking lot. So you're like out for life.
Yeah. Before it even opens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started going to Campbell every day, and then I noticed that they would hold competitions every weekend.
Huh.
And you could win different prizes and stuff. You could win food from the gift shop, ice cream. You could win equipment. You could win more free skate time.
Oh.
And then, so I started entering these contests and started doing pretty good in them.
Okay.
And then there was a contest where you could get on the team, the Campbell Skate Park
Campbell's
team.
Okay.
And there was A, B, and C team. And if you made it to the A team, you got to skate Campbell for free.
Oh,
So I was like, I'm going for that.
right.
I'm going for the A team. And you got free product to skate. So now it's like, I'm going to get boards from Santa Cruz. I'm going to get OJ wheels from them and independent trucks being on the A team.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I saw that, I'm like, I want that.
Did they have a skate shop there?
They had a
was
skate
it-
shop
They
there.
did, okay.
Yep. So I got on the A team.
You won the contest.
Well, I got good enough to get on the A team to be.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't, because there was different age groups.
Sure.
But I must have did very well to get on the A team. I mean, I still have. I should have brought it, but I have this list on a piece of paper of every single contest I entered from day one till get sponsored by Powell.
Oh, really?
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
How many
Wow.
do you think?
I don't know. It's on a sheet.
Just
So maybe
full
just
Just
page.
a list that you kept?
Maybe 25, 30.
25, 30.
Yeah.
It's a lot of free ice cream and hot dogs.
Yes, it was.
Independent trucks.
Well, it was different skate parks too. So now that I was on the
okay,
Camel
okay.
skate park team, we'd go to other parks and enter against their parks.
Right.
So there was Spinning Wheels in Sunnyvale. There was Burlingame. There was the Heat Wave in Sacramento. Where else?
Northern California.
All Northern
stuff.
California
Okay.
circuit. But the funny thing was that Winchester never had a team that did that. And they had their Pro Bowl and they had Hester Series there and things. But it was just a little different dynamic. Campbell was really family oriented, and helping the amateurs and the team
And events and contests
Yeah.
and yeah.
every weekend. And Winchester
For the
never
community.
did- For the community.
Yeah.
And Winchester never did that. They had their Pro Bowl. They had their Pro. They were more prestigious.
Too cool.
I don't know if too cool. They just didn't have that personality of want to cater to like the kids and the families and
Okay.
help build skateboarding from the bottom. They were just like, we're going to build this killer bowl and we're going to have pro contests and we're going to have the pros here.
Right.
Didn't really care about the amateur circuit.
Huh.
But that's okay. That fit their deal and
Sure.
and that's why I never went back to Winchester. So then we entered all these contests in Campbell, and we became the number one team in NorCal, which got us invited to SoCal, which is in Escondido. They had the national contest, so our team drove down to Southern California to enter against the Southern California circuit, where they were doing the same thing. That you had Del Mar, you had Pipeline, Lakewood. I mean, you had all these parks doing the same thing,
Right.
having their circuit. And so we entered, and Stacy Peralta was a judge, Steve Cathay was a judge, and I forgot who the other, might have not been a pro skater, but those two are the two guys I remembered, and I remember them from the magazines and Pro on GNS and just very famous skateboarders, so it was really cool to go down there with the Campbell team and enter these contests and go to a new park.
Sure.
And I was 14 at that time going with the team. And I mean,
It's cool stuff.
my parents let me do that. I can't believe they actually let me go with strangers.
Now, are they seeing? Are they seeing your? Are your parents seeing your progression too?
No,
Or they
and
no? They
that's
just
the
know
odd-
that you're out there just.
Well, that's
having-
the odd thing about it too. It's like my parents never watched me skate. They
No?
never went to a contest.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. So and that side they weren't supportive.
Okay.
They weren't the skate parents, the skate dad, skate mom. They were just the background, like, you need a skateboard, here's your board. You want to go to the
Right.
park? Here, I'll drive you to the park.
I wonder maybe they didn't want to see you fall, or because some parents, it's
Well,
like
my
they
dad
don't
was
wanna-
busy,
Okay.
working,
Sure.
and he was kind of out of the picture a little bit too, and my mom really didn't care about skateboarding.
And I'm sure you would tell them about the contest you're winning. Hey, I'm on the A team. I got a free hot
Yes,
dog. And
they would
then-
be stoked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Very supportive, very stoked about it, and but they supported me in their own way,
Sure. Yeah.
and the best they could.
Well, I mean, even letting you go down to Southern California with the team, and
Yeah.
that's big. 14 years old.
I tripped out.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool.
Okay.
You're going with it. I'm going with it. So at the end of that contest, I remember like one of my teammates got first place. I ended up getting fifth in
Fifth
that
place.
contest, and it's because I fell, and I think a chair got in my way, and I was super bummed out because I would do this thing where I'd roll out, roll in, and then do a backside air. And I think one of the runs where there was a chair in the way, and I got all
What's that
bummed,
doing to
grabbed-
the flat
Yeah,
bottom?
I got
No.
a chair. And but after the contest, Stacy comes up to me and he's like, "Hey man, I really dig your skating. I'm starting this new team. I'm doing this new company called Powell Peralta." I had no clue what that was.
No idea.
Like
This was 70.
all was like I heard was Peralta.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm doing this team called Powell Peralta. I want you to be part of it. And I'm like thinking like, I sucked at the contest.
Yeah, a chair got in my way. Yeah.
But he saw something
Interesting.
in me,
Huh.
you know, and he's like, "Yeah, I've got these two guys from Florida, Alan Gelf and Mike McGill. I got guys from LA. I got these two guys, Mike Jezelowski and Jamie Godfrey from the back east. I need a NorCal group. You know, I want you and Clay."
Huh.
I'm like, "Okay, I need to go home and ask my parents if I can do this." I had no clue what that was, the extent of it.
Right.
I'm 14 years old.
What does this mean? Yeah.
What does it mean? So we're talking about it on the way home, and I guess the team, the guy who owned Campbell Skate Park, heard about it, and he's like, "Oh, this is so rad! You know, we're gonna have Powell sponsor the team." And I'm like, "No, they only want me and Clay. They don't want the whole team."
No way.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh," because he thought it was gonna be like, "Oh, Powell Peralta is gonna now sponsor Campbell Skate
Campbell,
Park,"
right.
and like, no, they just want us.
Damn.
You know, I was like,
Awkward.
it was. I'm like, okay. So Stacey goes, "Yeah, I'm going to come up north in 1 month. I'm entering a Hester Series contest at Winchester.
Oh.
You can't, you don't need to tell me now, but when I come to the contest and give me your answer."
Huh.
And so I went home and told my parents, and they were, "Yeah, go for it. Like, what can you lose?" You know?
Sure.
"Yeah, they're gonna, he's gonna sponsor me. I'm gonna get free products. They're gonna send me to LA, skate all these parks, and get in ads and do all this fun stuff." And my parents said, "Yeah, why not?" You know. So 1 month came by, and I went to Winchester, and I saw Stacy, and he had brought in Ray Bones Rodriguez and Jay Smith, because those were the pros.
Okay. Yeah.
And Stacy was actually skating in the contest as well. And then we gave him our answer. We were like, "Yeah, we want to be on the team."
Wow.
I got my first package from Powell a week later.
How was it?
I had a Ray Bones Rodriguez board and Powell cubic wheels.
Okay.
Super stoked, you know. And I remember Clay got one too, and I saw Clay at the park skating with no pads with his new board and everything, and then never saw Clay ever again after that.
Really?
What?
Yeah, he just disappeared. And I'm like, "Dude, we just got sponsored."
To this day, you've
way.
never seen him
I've seen him
since. Okay.
but he was a lot older than me.
Oh.
Maybe 2 or 3 years older. I think he was 17 or 18. I
Okay.
was 14.
So maybe he got into some other
You know,
stuff.
girls?
Yeah,
Yeah.
girls.
He came
and
from
different-
he came from a rich family.
Oh.
He lived in Los Gatos, Saratoga area.
Okay.
Yeah, girls, cars,
Sure.
partying,
kids,
whatever.
yeah.
Just not into it.
Huh. So now you were the only NorCal.
Yeah. So it was like, there was other couple guys on Camel teams like, well, maybe I can be the guy.
Right,
You
yeah.
know? But the next guy in line was Scott Foss.
Oh.
Like, he's the one that I'm like, "Scotty, I think you should," because he rode for Santa Cruz at that time. I'm like, "Scotty, I think you should try to go for Powell, man. Like, it's cool. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of cool things going to happen here. Like, I don't know what Santa Cruz is doing for you, but this is going to be really neat. Man, look at this board. Look at this Ray Bones Rodriguez board. It's so sick."
Yeah.
So, yeah, Stacy saw Scotty skate and was impressed. And so he got on the team.
Wow.
I think I had a Big O contest.
Oh, wow.
That I went down as an amateur. So I started going. So my first trips with Powell, I didn't fly. I took the bus.
To LA.
I can't believe my parents let me do this. I got on the bus at San Jose Greyhound
Okay.
at 11 at night. Took it all the way to Santa Barbara. I got there at 6 a.m. They'd wake me up. I'd get on another bus to Santa Monica, which was another hour and a half, 2 hours,
Yep.
and get to Stacy like at 8, all by myself.
All by you're
That's how-
transferring buses and doing all and then now.
That's how cool my parents were.
That's
like,
amazing.
I'm at sketchy, right?
Well, nowadays, it's
yeah.
a completely different story.
Yeah.
Child endangerment
Yeah.
and stuff. You can't do
But
that.
I did it.
Wow.
And I did it for like 3 trips.
3 trips.
And then I'm like, Stacey, I kind of want to fly now. So
well, you
then-
put in your dues.
Yeah,
you put in
yeah.
your dues.
And when we go down there, he'd pick us up in the Volvo, and I'd meet Mike McGill there and Ray Bones, and we'd stay at his house. And and he had a jacuzzi, and found out what Hollywood was like. And we'd go to all these different skate parks. We would go to Marina Del Rey, Big O, Whittier. We just skate around, and every time we'd go to these parks, he'd already set up pro photographers, like guys that I'd seen in the magazine that shot all the pros. So we'd have to perform, and that's how we got photos in the magazine.
Huh.
You know, and that was a big deal back then, was getting a photo in the magazine.
Big deal.
Yeah, and how you got your photo in the magazine, you either set up a photo shoot or you did really well in a contest. So I grew up contest skater. So everything was about contest. Like, that's how you proved yourself.
Right.
There was no videos back then. There was no like, I'm just a photo guy.
You're turning pro from the contests.
Yeah. How you performed, that's how, you were ranked. And
Sure.
and I entered the amateur circuit down there as a M for Powell, and he just kept flying me down, and I just the night before and get used to the bowl, and then we'd skate that weekend and come home, and I missed a lot of school, and my teachers were really cool. They're like, you don't have to take the test on Friday, you could take it on Monday. So they were very supportive as well.
So you were working with the school too. Hey, I'm going to be in LA. 14-year-old kid telling the teachers, I'm going to be in LA. It's amazing.
Yeah. So it was cool.
Did you graduate high school?
I did.
You did? Okay.
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't graduate A's and B's because freshman, sophomore was A's and B's. And at sophomore, you start getting like these hints from counselors saying, so what are you going to do after school?
Sure.
I don't know.
skate.
Yeah, I'm going down to LA. Skate
Well, at that
Marina.
time, so what? That was 70. I graduated in 82. So 1980, I was a sophomore. So then you're trying to figure out what you're going to do after school. And I'm like, oh, well, what are the electives? Well, electronics is popular, so maybe I'll be in electronics, you know? I'm going to go figure, like now it's Silicon Valley there, like
Seriously.
crazy, right?
Yeah.
Right. Do you think you made the right choice?
I've done both.
Skateboarder or computer nerd?
Tony Hawk.
I think I did.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But so as junior came and as a senior, I'm like, I'm not going to college.
Sure.
I'm
you
traveling the world. And
you turned pro too.
turned pro at 15.
Wow.
You're still in high school.
I'm still in high school.
Was that a different dynamic now that you're a pro skater
There
in
was
high school?
1 or 2 skateboarders.
But other kids, like...
They didn't know anything
they didn't
about
know,
skating.
No. Okay.
I grew up on the east side, south side of San Jose, so it was predominantly black and Mexican.
Okay.
The west side was more diverse.
Sure.
Skateboarding was not a popular
It's not
thing
a
back
thing,
then.
right. Okay.
No. So, it's kind of like a little outcast there, which was cool because I just did my own thing. I met a friend that was another skateboarder there, so we kind of hung out. But yeah, only 2 skateboarders.
It's incredible.
And when I was in the punk rock, I was the only punk rocker there.
Were you?
Dude, Mexicans and blacks were not listening to punk rock back then.
Sure. Right.
We were like soul and disco. You
Right.
know?
And
Yeah.
here, did you have spiked hair and
I
the whole
did.
thing? And the, yeah.
Well, I did that at the end. I did that my senior year at the end. I spiked my hair.
Okay.
I wore the spike bracelet. I wore the green army jacket and the peg pants and the army boots. I'm like, I'm not going to school ever again. I'm gonna dress
You're
how
gonna
I
do it.
want to.
Right.
Yeah, that was the last time I saw anyone from school.
No. Yeah.
This was 1982. I was in a
Right.
punk band already, and
Wow.
yeah,
You were doing a lot of stuff. I mean, Cab, you're doing a lot.
it was just my attitude,
Yeah.
man. I've always just saw things that I wanted,
Mm-hmm.
and I always had this attitude like I can achieve that.
Hmm.
And I think that's the difference between people. There's people that look at things and go, I can achieve that, and there's people that look at things and say, I could never do that.
Sure.
And at a very young age, I made that decision that if you put the hard work in, you can achieve it.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, when did Star Wars come out? 74.
Oh.
It was a
Star Wars? Was that early?
Yeah, because I was in
I
a
wanna
Star
say, like-
Wars. I was in a Star Wars before I was into skating, and I remember going to the skate park with Chewbacca socks.
Chewbacca's.
Okay, and that was before. I was like 70, 76.
Okay, I'm
so
not
yeah,
sure, I'm not
74,
sure.
76, 74.
Huh.
And I remember seeing this scene in Star Wars where Darth Vader like slashes Obi-Wan and like he disappears.
Oh,
yeah.
So I had my dad's Super 8 camera, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm making that movie scene with my friends.
Okay.
You know, I had my friend. We made like an R2D2 box, and then a C3PO and painted it gold.
Okay.
And, you know, just stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was like, I just had this vision like, I love Star Wars. I'm making my own Star Wars film. You know, where I'd get like I made like a little tiny X-wing, and I put like a bottle rocket. And then I filmed it, and I tried to film it shooting off, and it just exploded. I mean, just stuff like that.
Well, I can imagine too, you being into that. Then when you start filming for like the Powell Peralta videos, I could imagine you were super into that because it was like filmmaking almost, you know?
Well, the first PAL videos was just us skating. There
Sure.
wasn't, we weren't filming parts. There was no such thing as a part.
Right.
Whatever we did in the videos was what we could do that day. Stacy didn't have no time like filming a trick. Stacy actually kind of lucked out with that whole era because when he left and came back to skating, because he left what, 90s?
Yeah.
And 90 was all about filming and
Parts and
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
and trying to get a trick, and people like spending hours and days and weeks just to get one trick.
Yep.
There's no way Stacy
Would-
would handle that.
Right.
I mean, I remember filming for the PAL videos and like doing a trick, and Stacy would be like, "Yeah, I got it." I'm like, "Yeah, but
I never did it the way I want.
that's not how I want to do it." No,
Yeah.
we got it. We got it. Moved on to the next
Moving
thing.
on.
I'm like, "But Stacy, I know I can do it better." No, we got the shot.
We got it.
God, bro. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. But it's like we had Chet Thomas on, and he was saying, you know, when filming for some of those videos, he would take the wardrobe, put it in a bag, and then you'd put the wardrobe back on like the next day. Stuff like that.
Yeah, sometimes we had to have the continuity,
Continuity,
especially
yeah.
like with Animal Chin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even the same looking board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember I had a board that I painted Spider-Man on with paint pens. And I remember I had to paint another one exactly the same in case I broke that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I remember I had a picture of both of them. One set up and one just sitting there.
Did you ever have to use it back up?
Oh, yeah.
You did.
Oh, yeah. Because you never knew if the board was going to break.
Right.
You're right, Bonite.
Was it Bonite back then? Maybe.
Around the time, yeah.
Maybe it was before that, wasn't it?
We'll have to fact check this after the show. I don't know. Bonite was not the best, right?
It was not. You know, it was the first time I ever broke a board lengthwise.
Vertical.
Multiple people have said
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I think it was a combination of like bonite and launch ramps, which did not help.
Yep.
You know, because there's a lot of like jumping and then slamming. And I always used to try to land bolts all the time, you know, and people would just land with their feet together. And I never snapped a board like that because I always try to land as best I could.
Right.
So I didn't snap a lot of boards.
Huh.
You know, a lot of other people did because maybe they didn't know how to land.
Sure.
You know, but bonite, if you got it, if you leave any board out in the weather and get soaked, it would get soggy and
Yeah. But the Bonite would expand.
exactly. So it was like one of those things that we got a lot of slack for back in the day, and people are still talking about it. They still bring it up. It's like
Right,
they're
right.
still hurt. I'm like, dude, really? Like you're
I think that's why people are
you're
scared of
still living
technology.
back there.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's why people are still scared of technology and skateboards.
well, I brought the newest technology and it's sick.
Yeah. Don't you like the flight boards?
Yeah, the flight.
Board
Yeah.
is amazing.
Right.
Yeah. I will not ride another 7-ply.
Oh, seriously?
Nope.
Interesting.
I just love the way it feels.
Yeah.
It's
thin.
stiff. It's super thin.
What's in it?
Top secret, bro.
Top secret.
If I told you.
Oh, okay. Don't tell me yet.
We kind of need Kelly.
No, it's actually got some fiberglass in between. It's like 5 layers, 2 layers of fiberglass, and it's the glue.
The glue
Like
is a
George
secret
says,
weapon.
it's the glue. It's the
Like an
weapon.
epoxy.
Obviously, nothing's perfect. It's
Sure.
got its fault as well. But to be honest with you, I will not ride a 7-ply.
Huh.
It just feels like a log to me,
Wow.
and it's flexy, and No.
Crazy.
I even got my son Caleb riding the flight boards
Oh,
down,
did
and
you?
he's
Seriously?
stoked.
He's stoked.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's bring it back though. I wanted to ask you about the like turning pro and everything. You know, how did that even? Were you winning the contest? You were already getting photos in mags.
Photos and mags, winning all the amateur contests, and it would go between me and Scott Foss. But he was actually in a different. It was age brackets.
Okay.
So like I was in the 14 to 15, and he was like 16, 17. He was like a year older than me.
Okay.
So sometimes I didn't enter contest against him, and then sometimes I would, and it would kind of go back and forth.
Would you like it better if you were against him, or
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter. But we were winning a lot of contests, and I remember we entered this one contest at Winchester. It was the Winchester Open.
Okay.
And 1980.
Right.
And I ended up getting second place, and Scott got, it was our local park. I got second, Scott got third. I think Dwayne got fourth, which and then Eric Halverson got fifth.
Okay.
Eddie Alguera got first. Back in the day, you could enter a pro contest, but if you didn't take the money, you could stay am. So if I took the money, I would be pro.
Wait a minute. So you got third. Is there?
I got
is there?
second.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got second. Is there a prize? There's money for second.
There was no prize.
No?
Not for an amateur.
Okay.
Back then.
Gotcha.
Back then, you entered a pro contest, you got money,
Yeah.
you're a pro.
Yeah.
That's back in the day.
That defines.
That's how you define pro and am.
But there are people who would just sign up as a pro and enter a pro contest.
And they're pro.
They're pro.
If they win money. If
Yeah.
you were to win money, it received funds, you're a pro.
Wow.
From that day on, you're pro.
You're pro.
Okay. That's how it was.
No matter if you have your name on a board or not.
Well, it's been retarded since then. Okay.
Right.
There's no pro or am now.
No.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone's collecting checks
I'll get to that.
Okay. Well, definitely.
Get
Yeah.
to that. I don't know where it got lost in translation, but
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. Anyway, so Dwayne got my prize money because I had talked to Stacy, and he's like, you're going to enter this contest, but I still want you to be amateur for another year. And I've heard other people on this show talk about that. Like,
Yeah.
I think, did Valley talk about it?
I think it did.
I think so. Yeah.
And I don't think he was into that.
Yeah.
Right? Or somebody else had talked about it. Like, wait, I got to be pro, and am I going to be amateur another year? No, I want to
Right.
be pro now. I think maybe that was Christian
Maybe.
talked about that. I think he did. And that's why he
Yeah.
quit.
That's okay.
Right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I respected Stacy. I respected him as my team manager. I respected him as a pro. I respected him as a friend. I listened to everything he said because I trusted him.
Yeah.
And if he told me, like, I want you to stay amateur, I want you to win all these amateur contests for the next year, okay, I'm doing it.
Like he had a bigger plan almost. Like we're just following his lead.
It's following his plan. I mean, I work for him. I work for George, and I work for Stacy. I'm not making my own. I'm 15 years old.
Yeah.
I don't have a chip on my shoulder. I don't have, like, pride. Not yet. Not yet. I'm a shy little boy. I don't even have a voice.
Right. Okay.
I was so scared to do interviews. Like, don't ask me a question. I'm not talking.
I just want to come in and skate.
So, yeah. Okay. You want me to be amateur? Yeah. I don't care. Like, whatever. I'm an amateur, and I beat all these pros, at my own park.
Right.
Not Eddie Alguera, though, because he was the best.
So he took your prize money. Not Eddie.
Dwayne.
Dwayne took your prize money. How much was it?
I have no idea.
No, you don't know.
$300 bucks. It was not that much back in the day.
hot dogs.
Maybe
Still.
500. I don't know. So me and Scott Foss remain amateur,
Okay.
and we entered all these amateur contests until the Gold Cup Series came about, 1980, and that's when I turned pro
Oh,
as a rookie at Oasis Skate Park. And I think I just posted a video. I got the footage, and I just posted on my Instagram of my run, which I didn't make the cut with that run. And I was like, wow, hard,
tough.
hard, tough crowd.
Tough crowd.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Hard to get, but I was like so scared.
Were you?
And I was like this big, and Dwayne's way up here, and Eric Grisham, and I'm entering a pro contest against all these pros. Like now I'm gonna be pro, and I was a little nervous,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Even though I'd done competitions my whole life, I was nervous.
What'd you place?
I think I placed 11th.
11th.
I didn't.
So-
I missed a cut by 1.
Oh, you missed the cut by 1. Huh. And then how long after did you actually get a board?
Not until after the Gold Cup Series, which was a series of 5 contests.
Mm-hmm.
And so the second one was Big O,
Big O.
and I got 3rd. So I moved up.
Got some money.
Got some money, won some money. I think I might have won some money there at Oasis,
Oh,
too.
okay.
You know, maybe
Huh.
$50 or something.
Oh, sure.
And
Gas
then
Yeah.
I didn't drive then.
Candy money.
Greyhound money. Yeah.
It was candy, candy money, toy money.
Yeah.
And then the next contest after that, because the contests were a month apart.
Oh.
So every contest, so back then, it was all about tricks and all about being consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And and also the Gold Cup Series had a compulsory run. I think, did Lance talk about that?
I think so. We had to do like certain things.
Yeah, you had to do, because they were trying to make skateboarding seem even, and they wanted everyone to be on the same playing level to try to make it more fair.
Oh.
Skateboarding will never be fair,
Right.
ever,
Yeah.
because it's subject to opinion.
100%.
To day one, it'll never ever be fair. Someone's gonna get ripped off, and someone's gonna not get ripped off.
Yeah. So in your run, you would have to do certain tricks.
Yeah, so it was a run called the Compulsory Run, which you had to do before your 2, basic runs, freestyle runs. And everybody had to learn those tricks. Like it was
It's like the standard.
standard thing was
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was. Backside carve. No, frontside carve, frontside air, invert, backside carve, backside air, rock and roll, and then a rock walk, and then out, or something like that. And everybody had to do those tricks. And guys that couldn't do inverts had to learn inverts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember when Alan Gelfand learned how to do an invert. It was like, oh my God, it was the most ugliest invert.
Just like, oh no.
But he did it.
Yeah.
He did
We
it.
had to.
He had to be competitive.
The ollie into it.
He might have. But Jay Smith did Andrex, which was cool. It's cool to see him do an Andrek, It didn't matter. I guess it didn't matter what kind of invert you did. You had to get upside down.
Okay.
It was really neat to see people have to adjust, but it pissed off a lot of people too. Because
I
like,
can
I don't want
imagine.
to learn that trick,
Right.
But with competition, they always were trying to make it more and more fair. So that's what it was in the Gold Cup Series. So the third contest, I ended up winning, and that's at Colton Skate Park.
But you could do your run. After you do that, you could do whatever you want in your
Do
run.
whatever you want. And so each contest, I had a month after each contest. After the contest, I would go straight back. Okay, so I want to rewind. So once I got sponsored by Powell, I was able to go back to Winchester.
Okay.
Because now I had Powell, they had a pro shop, so I had Powell giving them product so I could skate Winchester for free. So now I got to
That thing
skate the
$275?
prestigious
Yeah.
park with the prestigious bowl, the Pro Bowl. That's before I entered, the Pro-Am there.
Sure.
And that's when I came back. And when people saw me when I came back to Winchester, like, dang, you got good.
Okay.
And now you're sponsored by Powell. So they saw a difference, over those years. And that was a matter of a year and a half.
Right.
I mean, things happen so quick when you're into it, you're dedicated. I mean, kids have this 2-year span of just blowing up
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
if they take it, and they some people miss that opportunity.
Yes. Things just
know?
start clicking, and you just
And it's just all about how much effort you put into it, and I put a lot of effort into it. I was really something that was really dedicated, and I knew, like, when I first got sponsored by Powell, I knew that this was a great opportunity for me, and I'm never losing this opportunity, because how am I ever going to get that opportunity back?
Right.
So I did what they told me.
Yeah.
I never fought them
Never.
about anything.
What about your first board?
Fought them about that. And it's sitting right there.
Now what happened?
Kelly.
What
That's not an original. That's actually a reproduction made by a friend in
Okay.
Australia, but everything else on there is all original.
Oh, gotcha.
The trucks, the wheels.
Okay. Now, when they presented this board to you, you said, "No way, that's not my board."
I said, Stacey, are you kidding me right now? Like, how could you go from the Skull and Sword Ray Bones Rodriguez
Sure.
to,
A stencil.
yeah, a skull with a propeller? I mean, they were trying to keep that whole like Bones Brigade military look, and I just felt like, man, I'm going backwards here. Like, I want something like the Ray Bone. I've been supporting that graphic for 2 years already. I mean, can we at least come up with something that looks at least comparable to that? Like, and Stacy had made 6 of those boards, 5 or 6, and I remember I got a couple of them, maybe 2 or 3, and I didn't even know that Hawk got one. Later on, I saw pictures of Hawk skating Marina Del Rey, like doing a fakie ollie, like bailing or something, and he's on one
With that board.
with that board.
That's rad.
He's like, even I don't know if Tony talks about it, but he's bummed that he gave that board away.
I bet.
Yeah, and I'm bummed that I never saved one.
When did you become like a collector and
never-
started saving your boards and
I've
stuff?
never been a collector.
No.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I've saved every single one of mine.
Sure.
Except actually original, like, Dragon on the Bearing. I never saved a mint one.
Oh.
And just over the years and collectors and stuff, I've only discovered one.
Wow.
And the guy
I wanted 10
he
grand
wanted
for it.
He wanted $5,000.
$5,000.
He wanted to sell it to me, and it's green with a yellow dragon.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, no way, dude! I'm not paying $5,000 for my own board.
You couldn't
No.
do it.
And he ended up selling it for like 6 or 7 afterwards.
Wow.
So then,
Band
what-
for life. How about
now
that?
this is funny. So I had one of those first Ray Bones Rodriguez decks.
Mm-hmm.
Before I got my pro board, I saved one. For some reason, I don't know why I saved it. It was a purple with white.
Okay.
Same guy. Hey, I heard, you have one of those things. I'm like, $7,000, bro.
And he paid
He paid.
$7,000.
Yeah.
It was just used or new?
Brand spanking
Brand new.
From 1979, I kept it.
You didn't want to trade.
Yeah, why didn't you trade?
He already sold the board.
Oh, you already sold it.
okay.
Gotcha.
This was years before that, 3 years before that, he was trying to sell it to me.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Do you get that a lot? Do people hit you up like, "Yeah, I'll sell you this," or you probably have everything now, I guess?
You mean to buy boards from me?
Yeah, or no, or do they try to sell you your own stuff?
There's only been one.
That one
Okay.
guy.
I've only seen one.
Yeah.
Out of every collection, no, it's not popping up. I'm like, George, do you even have one of my boards? Like, go in your vault. You have to
Yeah.
have one. And he has not like come up with
Can't
one.
wow.
Like a mint one.
Yeah, of
I have
course.
2 used ones that I have with the dragon with the bearing. Because later on the bearing was taken off.
Right.
I had that graphic with the dragon and the bearing for, well, it was the dragon and the bearing and then just the dragon with Caballero for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Like my graphic lasted for 5 years until I changed it to the Chinese dragon.
Yeah. So when you told Stacy, no, that's not, are you kidding me? Like, I don't want to, was he receptive to it? And
Yeah,
being
he
like,
was.
okay, we'll go back.
We shot an ad actually. I have an ad in Action Now or Skateboarder magazine of me holding that board because like I did. Hey, you want me to shoot an ad? I'll shoot an ad. But I was like, that's not my board.
Really?
Yeah, but I shot an ad. holding
Okay.
it. Like introducing.
Sure. It came out, that ad?
The ad came out.
So that ad came out, that board never came out.
Right, until years later. We did like a anniversary, and we made like a limited of 500.
Wow.
And sold them like
Okay.
to collectors. I think it was a silver board.
So what was your pro board then? What graphic?
So then like, well, what do you want? I'm like, oh, now I have to think about what I want. Okay, shoot, what do I want for a board? Like what's gonna best represent me?
Right. And you're like 15, 16,
years old.
15 years old.
I'm like, what do I like? Okay, maybe it'd be kind of cool, like an image or something. Looking at the my zodiac sign for,
Okay.
I'm like, oh, I'm a dragon. Born 1964.
Huh.
And you always go to Chinese food restaurants. You look at the little.
The little menu,
yeah,
the
yeah.
placeholder.
I'm a pig and I'm a dog.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a cool one. That was a dragon.
The dragon.
Yeah, and I loved Bruce Lee too, and everything was about being a dragon.
Yeah.
You know, the way of the dragon, enter the dragon. Dragon just was like, that's going to be a cool image for me, and it represents me. I'm born year of the dragon, so I had a friend that had art school, with, and he was a really good artist. I'm like, hey, can you help me come up with a graphic or draw something? You know, and he drew. I want a dragon, so he drew this like mystical dragon with wings. You know, it was kind of more like looked like a dinosaur actually. So we presented that to Powell. Court Johnson took that. He did a rendition. I'm like, it looks kind of cool. And they did another rendition. And he did a third one. I'm like, and it was on a bearing.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's cool. Let's do that. And I think it's in Kleiber's book. He shows all the indisposable. I think, is that the one, the second one?
I think
right
it's the
there?
first one.
That there's a
Could-
second
yeah, it
one
could be, yeah.
that he actually shows the progress of those sketches.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that became my
That was it.
iconic thing, and then we came out with the board. And the thing was with Stacy was, he just didn't want to give a board to somebody. He wanted people to like want the board. So when I got my first pro board, like I actually entered pro for a lot of, a couple years before I actually got, my first
Board.
pro board.
Well, you had to go through that whole series. You were
Yeah.
saying one a month. So you waited 6-7 months
Yeah.
probably.
So yeah, it was about a year.
About a year. Okay.
But I'd ridden that board 2 years prior, the Ray Bones, and so when I got the board, it was an automatic seller because people were waiting for it, And
What about the shape?
the shape was just basically like the Ray Bones, but I wanted his didn't have any nose. So me and McGill used to, because it was called the snub nose, and the nose is like this big.
An inch.
Yeah, and we wanted a little bit more because a lot of other boards had like 3-4 inches.
Okay.
So every Ray Bones board that I got, I had to go in Stacy's garage and get a ruler and try to measure and drill it
Oh, you would re-drill.
all the time. Me and Mike, same
Whoa.
thing. We'd re-drill every single board.
Huh.
They didn't make them like that.
Yeah. Then your wheelbase steps are getting shorter though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been
yeah.
shorter. So we wrote it like that, and so when I made my board, we made it with the longer nose and kind of similar shape.
Okay. So you had control over your shape and everything.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. So that board, like you said, lasted about 5 years. The
Yeah,
one
so-
with the bearing, and then they took off the
They
bearing.
took off the bearing around 1983.
1983.
But so my first board check was like $300.
It's better than Tony's.
Yeah, and then at 15,
300.
my mom and dad saw that. I'm like, oh my goodness! Like, and then my next check was 500.
Okay.
And then I think they waited 2 months or something. Then my next check was 1,000.
You're like,
just
this is
kept going.
getting better and better.
Yeah. So I just started putting money in the bank, and then my mom saw that I was making money, so I just started paying for her bills.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, 15 years old paying for your... That's,
By age 22, I saved $100,000.
Wow.
seriously.
I had to open up another bank account because the bank only
Insured.
insured 100,000.
Yeah.
There's...
But this was by 1988, 89, 87, 88
Okay.
that I saved that much money.
That's
88.
incredible.
Yeah. My mom's bills were like $300, $500 a month, and I was making like our heyday,
Yeah.
$15,000 to $16,000 a month.
What?
15 to 16.
I think
grand.
one
It's
year,
a lot of candy.
I think in 80 it was like 1987. I made $250,000.
On boards?
$1 a board.
That's awesome.
$1. If I rode for Rocco, I would have been made 500.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe
$2.
what, $750 that year, right?
Sure.
How much did they make back in the day?
I think it was like $2 a board.
$2?
Yeah,
Yeah,
at
can you
least.
imagine? I mean,
at least. Plus with just Rocco
250
giving
to
out money.
500. That's a big jump, right?
Yeah, totally.
That's just one more dollar. Come on, George.
Yeah. What's going on?
How about a raise, bro?
Were you feeling I'm not greedy in the
No.
sense of like, but
I didn't care.
No.
I mean, come on.
it's a lot of
Yeah,
money.
that's a lot,
I'm-
It's a
dude.
lot.
Yeah. I'm just blessed. And
Yeah, of course. Wow.
That's so cool, man.
So you sold 250,000 boards.
Yeah.
In 87, you said?
Yeah. Crazy, right?
The board industry is a lot different nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, by 1990, no one wanted our boards anymore. I mean, you heard the stories from Hawk and
Sure.
Lance. Like,
Yeah.
they're like, what are we going to do now?
And you had no boards out, right?
No.
Like you didn't even have a pro board for
By-
a while.
Yeah. So I think by 91 or 92, George made the decision. And Stacy was already out. So it was all called Powell Skateboards at that time.
Right.
He made the decision, like, there's no market for you. like, we'll still pay you to ride for the team, but you're not going to have a pro board. And I was like, oh, this is where it's come down to, you know, and at that time I still loved skateboarding. That's all I knew. And I was like, okay, well, and I think it really didn't matter at that time because I had a pretty good selling shoe.
Yeah.
So it didn't really.
Which shoe was that?
Vans. Off the wall.
Hey, we'll talk about that. But keep going. What were you? Yeah, you had a good selling shoe.
Yeah, so it really didn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. And I looked at my whole history and my whole career, and I was like, you know what? I was like, why did I even get sponsored by Powell in the first place? It was to help build that team, help support the company.
Right.
And I looked at it, I was like, this is what this company needs. They need support. They need my support. And I need to get on board, hence not having a board, to help support them and support the team and build Powell to what it could be again.
And get through this.
Yeah.
Get through it.
Get through this. So I said, okay, whatever. I'm just going to ride Powell boards and I'm going to film. And it was at that whole time of like filming skating and it was all about filming and street skating. And that's street cab era.
Oh, I love street cab.
Street cab.
Well, that's the cab that I was first introduced to. Yeah. It was like, what was the Powell video? Chaos. Was it Chaos? That was my introduction to like Frankie Hill and you and I had the striped Powell shirt.
Yeah.
The rugby.
Yeah.
I was rocking that.
Yeah, I think I was rocking that too because Sean Mandoli and Edward De Vera were rocking that, and I think even Frank Harada.
Yeah.
The stripes.
Yeah. It was a thing. It was a thing because I would go up to Powell Skate Zone.
Yeah.
That was the closest skate park at that time. So we would, buy or whatever. But do you think that if you didn't have the shoe deal, right? Would you have stayed with Powell, do you think, at that time?
Look at my crystal ball.
Well, because a lot of people have, left. I mean, you stayed on Powell and Vans for a long.
Left.
You would have left.
Everyone else did. Why would I have stayed?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, George would have or should have, said, "Hey, you're the last dude. Here's, something to stay."
Right.
I probably would have left.
Started something new, maybe of your own, or
no, not
you
so much.
Never thought about. Okay.
No, I just wanted to be a skateboarder.
Yeah.
I wasn't. You know what? Okay, so here's the story. I wanted to start something on my own around 16, 17. When Hosoi did.
Oh, Hosoi. Yeah.
Wait, so when did Hosoi start his company?
Went through Skull Skates?
Did the first Hosoi, like after Sims?
God, I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch his episode.
85?
Maybe, yeah.
85. It was near the Carson contest. It had been 85 or 86.
Okay.
I remember seeing, because I was really good friends with Christian, hanging out with him all the time and skating. Like, man, he's got his own company. It's cool. Maybe I could start my own company with Powell.
Oh, with Powell.
Yeah, and this is before Rocco. This is before all these companies were having their own companies.
Sure.
So I approached George and I said, George, it'd be kind of cool to have my own company with you. And he's like, he comes to the trade show. I remember he's dressed up in his suit and his briefcase and everything, all professional. Gives me the full lowdown. He's totally talking over my head. College degree. I'm just some kid. And I was pissed.
Really?
He didn't want to do it. And this is where the pride starts to come in. It's like, Christian Hosoi has his own company. Why can't I have my own company?
Right.
That was the first time I almost quit, pal.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, because I was like, but why not?
Yeah.
He's doing it. And then George kind of just put it to me straight. It'd be a fake company. Fake. Because if you're not working there and you're not producing and you're not selling the boards, it's not your... It's just Powell. It's not your company. It's like you're not.
We're just using your name or your
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. So all those companies, you're not a real skateboard company. So everything that Rocco and all those were all fake companies.
Interesting to think about it like that.
Yeah, because everyone else is making their boards.
Yeah.
Because Santa Cruz made their own boards, Powell made their own boards, GNS or Vision made their own board, or maybe Vision, I don't know.
Yeah, Vision had PS sticks under
PS sticks?
Yeah.
But a real legit skateboard company back then, you made everything.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you had this like warehouse and you just stocked it with stuff
From
and
the
you bought
manufacturer,
boards,
right.
Yeah, and your garage and you're like a skateboard company.
Yeah.
That's not a skateboard company. You're just a distributor.
You're a marketer.
You're a distributor.
You know?
You're just marketing a product.
You're marketing a product.
Yeah.
So George put that to me at, 16, 17, whatever. I forgot what it was. And he said, put it straight. It's not a real company.
Huh.
And I'm like, okay, I'll forget about that idea.
Oh.
So that was the first time I was like in one of those situations like, well, why not?
Yeah,
prideful,
yeah,
like
sure.
I should have my own company. Christian has his own company, why not? And then that just went out the door. Forgot about it.
Just
So it's kind of like one of those relationship things where you just kind of work on just like whatever. Didn't like that idea, said no, let's move on.
Yeah.
right. Not gonna have a temper tantrum over it and
Right.
quit. But you did think about quitting.
I did.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
For a second.
At the trade show.
At the trade show.
It's amazing.
I even had a graphic already drawn up that my dad's artist drew up, Caballero skateboards. Like
That's what it was going to be called.
wow.
Caballero skateboards. Look at you.
Young entrepreneur.
Well, come on. I mean,
Yeah.
and so Hosoi is a fake company.
Yeah. Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Never
They
thought
never
about that.
they didn't press their own wood.
Yeah. They're just buying it from and putting their
So.
logo on it.
Yeah. So then anybody can make a skate. You want to make a skateboard company? Let's do it.
Yeah.
That's what's going on now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you
But
saying
in the sense that it wasn't a real skateboard company. You didn't
Did manufacture it, yeah.
Caballero skateboards. Here we go. Me and you.
Let's do it.
the fakest company?
It's a fakest. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So only that one time you wanted to quit, or was there was there others?
There were a few more times.
Okay. Board brand again? Maybe it's a
Board brand. No, it
No,
wasn't
no,
board
no.
brand.
Okay.
It was it had to do with clothing.
clothing.
So in the 80s, I loved wearing like comic book shirts, Spider-Man, Batman, Robin. I used to love wearing punk shirts.
Okay.
That's
In
what you
the
see the-
contests.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Metallica, Misfits. So there was this one year, it was a Carson contest. I have to say it was like 1987 or 88. Do you guys remember that it was at the Velodrome?
I don't know.
Anyways, Lance is with me, and Stacy rocks up, and he says, "Hey, I have to have a conversation with you." I'm like, "Sure." So we go into this room, and he brings out this manila folder
Okay.
full of Xerox pictures of me in the magazine.
Oh.
And so I open it up, and I start looking at cover shot, centerfold, full page. And he's like, "What's up with this?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Where are the Powell shirts?"
Oh no.
I'm like, "I don't know. This is what I want to wear."
Right.
There's a cover shot of me wearing like HIC because I wrote for Hawaiian Island Creations,
It's like a surf brand, right?
surf brand from Hawaii. They're paying me $300 a month to wear their clothing.
Okay.
Stacey's like, "Why aren't you wearing our shorts? On the cover, it's just, or our sweats." And I'm like, "I'm just not into those crossbones, I'm just not into it."
Right.
Well, this is a huge, like, you need to start wearing our clothing, and I'm like, "I'm just not going to do it, and sorry, this is me. I don't want to be a billboard for you. I mean, everybody knows I ride for your company, and, yeah, we were getting, royalties off T-shirts. I think like 25 cents a shirt or something.
Okay. This was in your 20s, maybe, right?
Yeah, 82. I was 17. So, yeah, 22,
It's okay.
23.
Sure.
So, yeah, I was pissed. You know, I was like,
that he was calling you out almost.
yeah, I'm selling like thousands and thousands of dollars in decks,
Right.
You know, $1 a board, and you're complaining about me wearing a Batman shirt or HIC sweats. Like I was like, and I kind of had a feeling like maybe, you know, George was kind of pressuring him, and I don't even know why it even became an issue. But I was a little bit bummed out about that
Because you're getting a lot of coverage and you're not wearing this stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but I wasn't paid to wear
Yeah.
PAL t-shirts or PAL sweats.
Sure.
You know,
Right.
it wasn't under my contract. You know, it wasn't something that I had to do.
Right.
I mean, I was already riding the boards. And we had clothing sponsors, and I just wanted to look a little different
Okay.
than everybody else. You know, we talked about like in the 80s, all about image,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and I wanted to be the
Style.
dude that wore Batman t-shirts. And this is before the movie came out with Michael Keaton, where then I stopped wearing Batman t-shirts. You know what I mean? Because then everybody was wearing them. So then it wasn't cool to
wasn't-
me.
yeah, yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean, it's like I already done it.
So it rubbed you the wrong way.
It did.
Yeah.
I just thought it was uncalled for. I was like, come on. Like, really? You guys are going to complain about that?
Wow.
So I wanted to quit. I was pissed.
Did you tell him you wanted to quit?
No.
No. In your mind though,
No,
you're like,
they
this
knew,
is-
though. They knew.
Oh, they felt
Oh,
it.
yeah, they felt it. They knew. Because I think I even talked to Santa Cruz or Vision.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Because I was really bummed out because, like, that's a little petty,
Yeah.
you know? So it just kind of washed over. And then I did talk to some other companies, and what they had to offer wasn't very much more, you know, that I was already getting from Powell, you know?
Okay.
So it was kind of like another one of those things where, like, something was presented to me, I was not happy with it, and then I just kind of got over it. I
Yeah.
just kind of just did my own thing anyways. I never, like,
Yeah.
succumbed to, like, wearing my own shirt again and wearing the Powell Bones sweats.
Yeah.
The ugly sweats that they made. You know? Sorry, George. They were ugly.
So that was number 2.
Yeah. I'll let Steve Size wear those.
Okay.
And Per Willander.
Right.
But
Wait for
yeah,
freestyle.
that was number 2.
Yeah.
And then
So whatever happened with that though, that there
They
was
just
like
kind of drop it.
they just dropped it.
Yeah.
I guess they ran out of Xerox paper. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was just, it was dumb. It was
Right.
dumb. But I wanted to quit. I was pissed.
You were pissed.
I was like, come on, man, really?
But after you slept on it, you got over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like one of those arguments you
Sure.
have with your girl.
Yeah. Right.
You never get the manual.
You never got the manual.
Never got the manual. Never needed the manual.
Well, you were already OG.
Maybe that's why I got the Xerox machines, because those guys had the manual with what you had to represent, and here I am wearing other people's T-shirts and
Yeah.
Batman and Misfits and all the stuff, and I'm not complying to the rules.
Yeah.
Well,
You know,
'cause
maybe
he-
one of the amateurs complained, like, "Hey, how come Cab's not? You know, did he
Right.
sign this contract too?" Like,
Yeah, because even in the manual, it's stating like if you go on a photo shoot, wear these kind of colors and you pop, and
Oh, wow.
there was it's a whole. You never read it.
I should have read the manual.
Should have.
I would have
we got a copy of it.
I
here.
would have
We'll
never
give it
got
to
the
you.
folder with the Xeroxes. But there was another time
Oh,
where I had a girlfriend at the time, and I started bringing her on trips.
oh,
And I remember them saying, "Hey, you can't bring your girlfriend."
are they paying for your girl to?
No, I'm paying.
You're paying.
I'm paying.
Gotcha.
But they had this thing like, "You can't bring your girl." I'm like, "Why not?" I'm still doing the same thing. I'm still competing, still doing my best. And,
Right.
Yeah, I just had an idea, like they just weren't into it. You know, it's like, whatever.
What age do you?
It was 88, 89.
So same type of. So all this is happening in a year or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was another, like, come on, really? Like, that's another petty thing. And I'm like, I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit again.
Did you talk to any other companies at that time?
I
Or
think
you
I
just-
did,
You did?
actually.
Oh my gosh.
But like I said, never panned out. Like,
No.
I think I think that one was the one with Santa Cruz.
Okay.
And when I talked to, I think it was Bob DeNike at that time, they offered, "Hey, yeah, we want you to ride for us." And they were like, it was at a point where it was kind of like a photo incentive type deal. And it's like, wait, so you want me to try to prove myself to you guys with photos in the magazine to get paid more? Like, I'm like past that,
Right.
like already. I'm already like established.
Yeah.
Like, so I felt like what they were trying to offer me was like, it wasn't even a sweet deal.
No.
You know, it was like, you have to prove yourself. I'm like, I'm not proving myself to Santa Cruz. After all these years with Powell.
Yeah. You should have brought all the photocopies of
Yeah.
the Batman shirts.
Exactly.
There you go.
So once again,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's not going to be cool.
But looking back at it now, I mean, you're probably glad you did. I mean, you've been 40 years
Yeah.
It's
on
incredible.
Powell.
It's insane.
Since 79.
How insane is that?
It's pretty cool. It's definitely something to be proud of, you know,
Absolutely.
and it's a testament of who I am as a person and dealing with adversity. And it's a testament of relationships and the reality of what people go through and how easy it is to break up.
Yeah.
Like quickly and make a quick decision of something really petty and stupid.
Impulse.
Yeah, impulse. And, you know, when you just sit back and realize what you have and work things out, you know, it goes a long way.
Yeah.
You know, so
definitely.
integrity is a huge asset to have.
Loyalty.
Yeah.
For sure.
So when people see that, it's easier to get sponsors and stuff because they see how loyal you are and they can trust you.
like we're in it for the long haul.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I like to try to build that trust with people and let them know that I'm not just out for the quick buck.
Sure.
You know, that I really appreciate the support you give me and I want to repay the favor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I want to have that type of personality. I want people to remember me in that way, that I actually appreciate the things that are given to me.
Definitely.
You know, and I'm not going to take it for granted.
Right.
So even like getting my board taken away from Powell,
Mm-hmm.
I want to show them that I appreciate all the years.
Yeah.
And it was a good run. And we'll see where it goes from there. And
let's
then,
just keep going. Let's
Yeah.
keep on trucking. See
and
what
then
hap-
years down the line, I got a board again.
How many years after?
About 2 or 3.
Okay, so 2 or 3 years with that.
Yeah.
But listen, you had the shoe deal. You had the Vans.
I did.
Let's talk about this. The shoe was called the
The Caballero High Top.
Caballero High Top.
Well, I got sponsored by Vans finally. I got my first pair of Vans probably in 1977, 78.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because when I started skating the skate park,
Mm-hmm.
I got my membership 77, and then I started skating skate park, and then I showed up in Nikes
Oh, you did?
because I mean,
You
you
wear
know,
Jordans all the time, yeah.
this is way before Jordan. So in the magazines, a lot of the pros were wearing white Nikes or gray
Oh, yeah.
Nikes or blue Nikes, and I'm like, I gotta have them Nikes.
Yeah.
You know, that's a skateboard shoe. But then when I got to the skate park, these guys are wearing Vans. And then I look at the magazine, there's this cartoon of a factory or a skateboarder saying the skateboarder shoe Vans. You remember that ad?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like a picture of Stacy Peralta and then the brown high top. And I'm like, oh, I got to get the skateboard shoe. So then I heard that there was a Vans store in Los Gatos near the skate park that strictly sold Vans. That you could get specially made Vans.
Oh, wow.
It was one of their stores, one of their flagship stores, because they had like maybe 4 of them, and there was one in San Jose,
Okay.
in Los Gatos area. And I went there and got my first pair of low top Vans, and I actually they sold this little like plastic ankle brace that you could put on your ankle if you had low tops. It's in case a board hit you.
Oh, wow.
You know, a board hits you in the ankle called ankle bite.
Sure.
You know, shark bite.
Shark bite.
So I bought those too. And then after that pair, then I ended up getting the Style 138, which is a high top.
Okay.
Brown. I think it was blue and white.
Right.
And I started wearing those. So I've been wearing Vans since 77.
That's insane.
But I didn't get asked to be on the team and get paid
Yeah.
till 1988.
Yeah.
So we were getting flowed. Being on Powell, Vans would send
Powell.
the shoes, and then Stacy would distribute to us. Like if we go to his house,
Okay.
we'd get new Vans.
Right.
So it wasn't on the team. And then I think around 1988, because of between 85 and 88, and all the coverage we're getting in the magazines, I'm wearing Converse, I'm wearing Pumas, I'm wearing Air Jordans, I'm wearing the very first Airwalks.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Not the puffy ones, the ones that look like Chuck Taylors. They were so terrible. They were worse than Chuck Taylors. You know how light Chuck Taylors are?
Yeah.
They're
They
thin.
were thin. These were thin.
Super thin canvas.
Yeah. And I think Vans
Saw.
saw that, and they wanted their market share. And at that time, they saw interest in me.
Yeah.
And got a call from Everett Rosecrans saying, we want to sponsor you. We want to pay you.
Oh.
So it worked out $800 a month.
$800 a month.
Yeah.
And were you the first rider they picked, or they already had a team at that point? Or
I'm not sure. Maybe they were building a team, but I really didn't pay attention. I just knew like this shoe company wants me to ride for them. And then immediately they had this idea of like, and we want to make a signature shoe with you.
Immediately.
Pretty much, maybe 6 months later.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, that's cool. Signature shoe. I've already had a signature board.
Sure.
Get $1 a board, sell 1,000 boards, get $1,000. So I get
That
this.
sounds good.
Sounds great, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now I can do that with shoes. I get the contract from Vans. I look at the contract, and it's like, okay, 75 cents a shoe.
Uh-oh.
And then the more shoes you sell, you get less of a royalty.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, how does that? Yeah, I got the more shoes I sold,
What's money you make?
the royalty got lower and lower and lower, like the percentage.
Sure.
And I'm like, how does that work? Like, you know what I mean? I should be compensated for the more shoes.
Yeah.
Right.
And I went back and I said, this contract is kind of, it's lopsided. It's like, it's
wonky.
like, why are you guys going to make more money if I'm help promoting selling these shoes? Well, they're like, well, if the shoe's selling, it's not because of your name. It's because we make great product. And this was the mentality of Vans back then,
Sure.
the CEO, whoever approached me at that time with that. And I'm like, well, that's retarded because I can sell $1 a board.
Yeah.
And the more boards I sell, I make more money. So I don't get this contract. Like doesn't make any sense. So I'm not signing it. I don't care. I don't want a shoe.
Wow.
Yeah. A month later, hey, we want to do the shoe with you. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it.
Oh, my gosh.
A few months later, you want to do the shoe because we really want to do the shoe. And I'm like, no, you've changed the contract because it sucks.
Sure.
It's like it doesn't benefit me to help promote the shoe.
It's lopsided.
Yeah. So then I go, Lance, check out this contract, man. Look how retarded this is.
Yeah.
Like the more that I sell, the less I'm getting. It doesn't make sense. And Lance goes, well, you can look at it two ways. You could get ripped off, you could not get ripped off and make no money, or get ripped off and make a lot of money. Right? That's Lance's mentality. And I thought about that. I'm like, get ripped off and make a lot of money, or don't get ripped off and make no money.
No money.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll sign it.
I
signed it.
So you signed it.
Signed it.
So nowadays you're making nothing off the hook.
That's a whole nother story.
For a long time.
So they make this shoe. I mean, the original, right?
That's the original half cab. That
Half
actually
cab.
came out in 92.
92.
The original shoe. So the original shoe came out in 1989. The
Okay.
Caballero high top. Mm-hmm. Which probably would have came out 6 months earlier if I would have signed the contract.
Right.
So this whole thing with Naudis and me getting the first shoe, whatever.
So they really weren't bending on trying to give you a better deal at all?
No, not at all.
They wanted to do the shoe really bad.
They wanted to do the shoe, and they were stuck on it, and no one had ever have a signature shoe.
Did you
Right.
design
Especially
the
in
shoe?
America. Huh?
Did you design the shoe?
Well, if you look at it, it has a little bit of a Jordan to it. And so when I drew the shoe, I had a little bit kind of like looking like the shoe. And then they had an artist there draw something as well.
Yeah.
And it kind of matched kind of what I was looking for.
Okay.
So I said, yeah, let's just go for that.
Right.
So we went with it. And then they showed it to me, and it had like this like alligator dragon scale
Around the
like
collar?
on the collar, on the sides, and I'm like, oh, that looks pretty cool. And then they wrote my name with it was a dragon, and then the tail was a C,
Yeah.
and then it said Caballero. So they wanted to keep the dragon theme.
Gotcha.
So we put the shoe out,
Yeah.
and they started doing ads, and people started buying the shoe. Pros started wearing the shoe. It started showing up in magazines,
Wow.
right? And from 1989 to 1991, this is like the transition from vert to street.
Yep. Street cab.
So a lot of no street cab wasn't.
Not yet,
No.
but it's coming.
He's coming.
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of pros were like cutting the shoe in half and duct taping it, and also like guys were like putting stickers to hold the foam in. And I think either Chet Thomas or it was Frank Harada was like sewing it. Maybe it was Chet that was sewing it together.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's so cool. Like, and I'm like a trendy dude.
Yeah.
So like I like to follow trends. I'm like, I want to be cool like these dudes. I'm gonna cut mine too. So I started cutting mine and started duct taping them. And like after the third pair, I'm like, dude, I'm so over this already. Like I'm gonna call Vans right now. Vans, like, hey, there's this like crazy trend going on with my shoe. They're cutting my shoe in half, and they want it that way. Can we just make it that way?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it'd be cool. Like, we'll call it the half cab.
Oh.
You know, because that was already a trick back in the day that was made up. And
After your name, right?
well, after the trick, the Caballerial.
Yeah. Okay.
That's another story.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's like
We'll go back. We'll go back in time. Don't worry. We haven't forgotten.
So, and then I always liked the Jumpman.
Yep.
For the Nike shoe, because I was like intrigued by it. Mm-hmm. So I was like, hey, we can get an image of me. I found an image that Mofo shot of me doing a half cab.
Okay.
We could have that on the side, have half cab, and just make them like that. And we'll add different colorways, because the first shoe only came out with was a gray and black, and then a maroon and gray.
Okay.
And then that's it. And when the half cab came out, it was like tan, green, blue,
Oh,
black.
you had a whole line.
And then all of a sudden, everyone was wearing the shoe. It was showing up on the cover of Thrasher, like Henry Sanchez, Eric Cost. I mean, everybody.
Carroll.
Solomon, Carroll, Mike Carroll.
Yeah.
Keith
That must have been
Huffnagel.
a trip.
I don't know. I didn't trip on it because
No?
it was just part of what it was.
Okay.
I never tripped on it because I kind of treat it like the board. Like I got my board, people started riding it, people showing up. It was just cool. I mean, I just like, I was stoked on that. But I still had the same contract.
How many years was this contract? That must
From
have been like
89
3
to
years.
90. Well, the shoe came out in 92.
Okay.
So in 93, they got a new CEO.
Oh.
And my contract was up.
Let's renegotiate.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And what was cool about that was they came to me and they're like, this is a whole brand new CEO.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, hey, we're moving Vans globally. Like we're going huge. We're going into department stores. Vans is blowing up. We're
Right.
getting our shoes made in Korea now. And now we can make way more, so they closed the shop in,
Los
Orange.
Gatos.
No. That was just a shop.
Oh, that was
They
it.
closed the factory down in Orange
Oh,
County.
the factory.
Because that's where the shoes were made.
Okay.
So I designed another shoe, and we called that the low cap.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Which was even lower, because like street skating was starting to get, had its momentum, and I started, that's when I was street skating a lot.
Right.
And we want to negotiate your contract. I'm like, okay, I want a solid amount now.
Yeah.
And if I sell a certain amount of shoes, I want it to equal up. So I ended up getting like $1.25.
Wow.
I negotiated $1. I mean, I probably could have asked for more, but
Yeah.
it's whatever. $1.25.
Sure.
And then the shoes blew up.
Oh, yeah.
And then I designed another shoe called the Cab 4.
Yeah,
And then
okay.
the Cab 5.
Right.
And then the Cab 6 and the 7. And each shoe was different design.
Mm-hmm.
I started drawing the shoes more, and I would just send them to the designer, and then she would do her thing to make them more where the people can read it.
Gotcha.
And the
Tic-tac.
dimensions and
Yeah.
everything. And it was kind of a cool thing, and we had this thing going for a while until probably, I want to say the Cab 8, where I still have a sample of that shoe. It was never produced.
Okay.
It was pretty techy.
Well,
it looked
the
like
shoes
a
lead-
Nike, like it was really techy.
The shoes leading up to that you were pretty techy,
Yeah.
too. Like puffy.
Yeah.
Cup soles and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, and we had gone through different CEOs over those years.
Meanwhile, the half cab's still
Half cab was
running.
still selling, but they've always kind of kept it in the line.
Sure.
They never really promote the half cab, which is mind-boggling to me because it's one of their best-selling shoes. But when's the last time you ever seen a half cab ad?
For a long time.
Yeah.
1988,
Well, they don't.
92.
Isn't that crazy though? It sells so good and they don't even advertise it.
seriously.
That's amazing.
I feel like you could do an entire team of people just riding half
Yeah.
cabs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hear that, Vans?
Frank Dog, get ready to get a package.
Let's have a meeting.
Let's renegotiate.
No, seriously.
Let's renegotiate.
Yeah. So, 1989 comes and so the Cab 8.
Yeah.
That's
Never-
probably 90 what? 90s. When did Rally come in?
Oh, wow.
99? 98?
It was around
99.
then, yeah.
99, 2000.
So a year before that,
66, yeah.
they're like, we're not doing the shoe.
Mm-hmm.
We're going back to the vulcanized. We're going back to...
Rowley really pushed for that.
Well, this is before Rowley showed up.
Gotcha.
So they're telling me we're not putting the shoe out, that we're going a whole different direction. We need to get our market share. We need to get back to our roots.
Right.
So then I get I'm on tour with Vans, and Steve Van Doren approached me. He's like, hey, we need to renegotiate your contract
Uh-oh.
again.
Here
And
we
I'm-
go.
And at that time, they had a bunch of different pro models and pros riding.
Yep.
And for some reason, Vans wanted all the contracts to be the same.
Oh, interesting.
So my $1.25 went back to 75 cents.
Mm.
So I had to, that was like a blow to me.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, here is a guy I totally respect and has helped me out my whole career, is telling me we're going to cut your royalty in half.
Wow.
And I'm like, really, dude? Like, and same thing, same mentality came back. Like, I'm just blessed and honored that I even have a shoe. I'm
Sure.
like old, I'm almost like 35 years old,
Right,
You know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I still have a shoe, and I'm like, whatever, it's cool, I could have been like, no, I'm quitting.
Right.
What, you're gonna cut it completely in half?
Yeah.
Like, I could have been like that dude. Like, I'm not getting a pay cut.
Yeah.
I'm
So you
street. I'm street cab.
Street cab. Full effect. Yeah. So you took it.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? If this is gonna help Vans out,
Sure.
I'm with it. You've supported me all these years. And then all of a sudden, Rowley gets signed. And then I see a Rowley ad every single month
Sure.
promoting. And I'm like, oh my goodness, they're promoting this dude heavy.
Yeah.
And here's my pridefulness going like, I've never got that love before. But because who he is and he negotiated that, more power to him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was like, there's a little jealousy going in, like, why haven't I gotten the love that he's getting? And this was the short-sightedness.
Sure.
Of-
Makes sense. I understand.
Of like not seeing the future of what the impact Rowley is going to do to Vans
Right.
completely.
Yeah.
And here's me going like, oh, I can see why I got the pay cut. That other 75 cents is going to pay for those ads.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? That's just my own
Mentality.
opinion
Yeah.
and mentality, thinking like, because that's money that I don't have anymore.
Sure.
Still selling the shoes, but where's that money going?
Right.
So then years down the road, Rowley builds Vans back up. Guess what shoe gets popular again?
The cab.
The half cab. Right? So I'm like, okay, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So I look back at like my mentality and my thought of like, I'm glad that I went with it. I'm glad that I didn't put up a fight, and I'm happy for Rowley for his success.
Right.
But his success built my success.
Totally.
Yeah.
Right. You made more money with the 75 cents than compared to what you would get the $1.25 in the long run.
In the long run, if he didn't build Vans back up
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
made my shoe a really great sell. And this is without advertising once again.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for that ad, Vans.
Hit the streets.
Yes. Yes.
What do you want me to do? A 20 stair rail?
Street cab. Yeah.
Let me get this femur healed up.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but so it's just life, man. We're
Yeah.
as humans, we're so short-sighted. We don't see the benefits of things.
Yeah.
And that's just normal. I mean, you can't see, you don't have a crystal ball.
Right.
So you don't know the effects. So sometimes you got to just go with it.
Yeah.
And then later on, you see, it was the same thing with Hawk. You know what I mean? Pridefulness once again built up again. Like when X Games came out and how much attention they gave Tony.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, why are they giving so much attention to Hawk? Like, where's everybody else? But, ESPN had this thing where they had to like have a guy, promote this guy. He's like the dude, the representative of the this whole industry. And then there's a good guy and a bad guy and a rivalry and everything. And I'm like, okay, he's the dude, right? Mm-hmm. This was 95, 96.
Sure.
Years later, what comes out? Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yep.
When was that? 2000?
Yeah, it was around 99.
Yeah.
99.
Yeah.
Right? First video game comes out. Huge success.
Yep.
I'm playing it. They're going to make number 2. I get a call. And, hey, we're from Activision. I'm one of the designers. I'm a huge fan. We want you to be a character in the game. Right? I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, we love you, Cab. Like, we want you to be a character. I go, what do I got to do? Just tell us what clothes you want. Tell us a secret trick, special trick you want, and just supply us with some video. And when that was happening, that lit a fire in me, and I was like, I want to videotape. I want to make the best videos to give to the Tony Hawk Pro Skater, because you'd open up. Once you cleared the whole thing with the skater, you got to open up their video. And
Sure.
So I wanted the best video stuff that I could at that time.
So you're literally filming a video part for them.
Yeah. Well, and filming stuff for Powell too,
Right.
but giving it to them as well. And then once again, cha-ching, I start getting checks from Activision, and I didn't do anything. I just I said yes.
Yeah.
Right?
You told them a Batman shirt and some.
So here we go. I get a check from Activision one year, $250,000. Like,
Andrew Reynolds was saying, yeah, you got a big
so I'm
check.
like, oh my goodness, we all got the same contract. That means Alyssa Steamer got that much too.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, and I look back, and that's the mentality of like, just got to stay humble.
Yeah.
And always celebrate people's success. And I felt bad. I was like,
For feeling that way. Yeah.
But you could never know that at that point. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You learned over time, and
But you can't blame yourself for thinking that you're Cab. You know? You're Cab.
yeah, dude.
Go
I
on.
felt bad.
Yeah. Did you ever talk to Tony about it?
No, but I've mentioned it.
Yeah?
In interviews.
You still close with Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, like I said, you can't blame yourself for that, bro. We all think that.
I think it's cool that you you understand that now. You
Yeah.
know? That's like the biggest part. You know, like
That's maturity.
Yeah, that's maturity. Exactly. that's the coolest part. You know, it's like you get it now.
I felt bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine.
So,
the
you know,
$250,000 check made you feel a little better, though.
hindsight. No, but seriously,
Yeah.
I was like, he's the reason why I'm getting this,
Right.
because of what ESPN did and
Yeah.
the whole thing with X Games and Tony being the representative of the company.
You were jealous.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was. I was like, and Hosoi not even being there because he was doing his deal. I mean,
Yeah.
it was supposed to be Hawk and Hosoi at the X Games.
Right.
And because what Hosoi was going through, he missed out on that opportunity. So they had to find another person. But yeah, it's like I wasn't at Tony's level, so I wasn't there. So he was picked as the representative of our industry.
Right.
And I felt bad about it. And then I looked at him like that. There's a reason for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it just really taught me about pride and humility.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I celebrate people's success.
Being humble is very important these days,
It is.
just in life in general, But the half cab,
There's water out.
I just want to ask you a question about it.
It's still the same design.
No, because it started off as the Caballero, right?
Yes.
And then But even nowadays, the high tops are still called half cabs. Was there a decision to make just to keep the name half cabs instead of
the high tops are still called the full cabs. So
the full cabs.
They've released.
Oh, well, you know what? When I look at those shoes, though, to me that's a high top. You know?
With the half cab.
Well, actually,
I know that,
it's
but
really,
right, Kelly? I mean,
in our day and age.
in our day and age.
But the original cab was seriously like this tall.
It's tall.
yeah, a little bit taller. Yeah.
And they still sell
Like
that
a-
one, the full cab?
They do. They come out with it every once in a while. They'll do like a reissue or a celebration, 10-year, 20-year.
To me, that's the half
Nine
cab.
Club collabo.
Oh. Yeah, can you make that call?
Let's do it.
We do some marketing. We do some ads.
Yeah. I mean, because when I look at that, I look at the half cab. That's the half cab. I don't see the full. I don't see the tall shoe. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's my generation.
It came out before you started skating.
Right.
You changed the tone of it though.
We did. They eventually fixed that part because it used to be 2 layers right there, and it would rip up right there, and then once you rip the stitching, then the shoe falls apart.
Right.
So that's the only section right there that got changed, but pretty much everything's the same.
Do you have a lifetime contract with them?
I think it just renews every like 2 years.
Just like automatically, just renews.
They'll say, "Hey, your contract's up," and I just sign it.
Okay.
You now get 45 cents a shoe.
Yeah, they better look at it.
Yeah,
bro.
exactly. I should.
It's amazing though, bro. I mean, all the success you've had. You know, it's incredible.
Yeah.
You know, and you're still doing it successfully.
I mean, I just kind of go with the flow of things.
It's amazing.
You know,
Yeah.
The whole Legends thing actually helped revamp us, the guys in
totally.
the 80s, and help showcase us still, and which keeps the fire lit as far as staying current and progressive and just trying to keep up.
Yeah.
You know, and never in a million years would I have thought that I'm 54, I'll be 55 this year, that I'd still be skating for a living.
Right.
You know, I still don't even know what I'm going to do after skating.
I'm sure you'll still be getting that 75 cents a shoe, man.
Your shoes have been going for a long time.
Yeah, so I haven't really put that to thought. But yeah,
Well-
I'm kind of transitioning as an artist as well.
That's
and
right.
And I've been making some money doing that, you know, and getting different opportunities.
Yes.
To do art for huge companies.
And that's amazing too. And I really want to talk about the art stuff, but can I go back real quick? I want to go back in time to the Caballero.
The trick.
The trick.
Yes.
How did that even come about? And when did they actually name it the Caballero?
Caballerial.
Okay, whatever. It's hard for me to say. It's a tongue twister for me. Caballerial.
Caballerial. So it was never
No, I mean, didn't say it 5 times fast. You know?
Caballerial.
Yeah.
It was never called the full cab.
Never called the full cab.
No, street skaters coined it that later.
How do you feel about that?
I don't really care.
Okay.
I do jokingly correct and say,
Sure.
hey, it's called the Caballero.
Caballerial,
And I want to say that because people think the half cab came first. But it was the Caballero that came first, and then the trick, the half cab, came afterwards. So the Caballero was invented in 1980 during the Cold Cup Series. Remember I told you the first contest was Oasis.
Yep.
Second one was Big O. Third one was Colton.
Okay.
And then between Colton and Marina Del Rey, I'd seen this skateboarder at Winchester. It was a pro skateboarder named The Fly. That was his nickname. Robert Shafley.
Oh.
Shaffelli.
Not
He
Marty.
rode for Tunnel. What's that?
Not Marty McFly.
No, The Fly.
The
I don't know why I
Fly.
call him The Fly. But very famous pro skateboarder, Northern California. I was up sitting on top of the Clover Bowl,
Okay.
looking down at the Pro Bowl. And he was doing this trick where you come up and you slide to fakie. We call that a RB slide based on Rick Blackheart.
Mm-hmm.
He'd come around, and one of his favorite tricks was fakie 360 kick turn, right
Fakie
at tile.
360, okay.
Kick turn, and then come down. Well, at one time, he went up, he did a fakie, and he pumped super hard, and he went up in the air, and it flailed in the air.
Okay.
Like he hit the coping, it flailed, and he just jumped down. I looked at that, and at that time, I already knew how to do fakie ollies. That was one of the tricks back in the 80s was a fakie ollie.
Okay.
Go up backwards, bonk your back wheels, come back down. And I saw him do that trick, and I'm like, I wonder, just right there, I wonder if I can hit the back wheels and spin my whole body around, suck my feet in, and come all the way around and land. And at that time in the Gold Cup Series, we were striving to have a new trick at each contest because that would just bump up your scores.
Right.
And I learned that from Eddie Alguera, who I was competing against at that time because he was one of my heroes back in the day, before I even got sponsored by Powell. And going to that Escondido contest where I met Stacy, I mean, he was the guy that we saw in the magazines, Mr. Progressive, invented all these tricks.
World champ.
World champ. He was inventing the frontside rock and roll. The Algarial was a 360 hand plant. The slider to fakie, the fakie ollie. I mean, there was all these tricks. He was so ahead of everybody all the time. And that's who I strive to be. I wanted to be progressive. So I learned all these tricks, and I learned a lot of the tricks. Once you get to a certain point when you learn all these tricks, you're like, okay, well, what's next? So like, let's try to invent some stuff. Let's try to do stuff that's never been done. And so when I saw that my buddy do that trick, the fly. Thank you, Robert, for that as well. I'm like, I saw it. I'm like, that can be possible, you know? And so I tried it, and I tried it, and I tried it for a whole month. And I would come around and land like 3/4 and fall. Come around, land 3/4 and fall. And then one time I hit super hard, sucked my feet and landed 3/4 and slid the other quarter around, and I made it.
Oh, wow.
So I call Stacy up and I go, Stacy, I learned a new trick. And he's like, what'd you learn? I'm like, it's a fakie ollie 360. He said, what? It's a fakie ollie 360, no hands. He's like, you're kidding me. Like, I got to see this trick.
Okay.
So
you're in San Jose.
I'm in San Jose. He's down in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
So here goes contest time. We're showing up at the Marina del Rey Gold Cup Series. I guess he told Lance and told Blender about it. So Stacy picks me up at the airport in the Volvo. I get to the park. Lance and I just remember this. Lance and Neil are waiting in the parking lot for me, and they want to see the trick. Right? They heard all about it. Right? And I'm like, cool. So I'm like going up there, and they're like practically putting my pads on for me. Like, here, let me get your knee pads. Let me get your helmet. Like straight from the car.
Let's go.
Straight to the upper keyhole.
Let's see this.
And so I go up, do a couple of them, and I bail. And then I think I landed the second or third one, and they were just blown away. They were like completely blown away. And so
you're above coping.
I was bonked off the coping and in full. No one had ever done a trick like that ever, like spinning 360 like that. So then the contest comes around, and I bail. I didn't even get to the trick
in the contest.
Yeah, I bail before it. I mean, I've been doing it, practicing it, doing it. I mean, there's footage of me doing it there, but I ended up getting 15th place. I didn't even make the cut.
Oh my gosh.
It sucked.
Right.
I was so bummed. But
like
people
here you have this new trick.
Yeah. And I
contest
couldn't even get to it.
Wow.
The next contest is a month later. I get to perfect the trick. It's at Upland, and it's that photo that's right there, that shot by Glenn Friedman.
Oh yeah, a little sequence up here. Yeah.
So that sequence right there was an original proof from Action Now magazine that was sitting at Glenn Friedman's house. He gave it to me. They used to make proofs before they printed them in the magazine, and that's the actual proof from the magazine. It's
incredible. Thank you for blessing us with that.
Yeah,
You'll sign it after the show.
And so at that time, Stacy, we were making these things called the intelligence reports. So he would always talk about, like they were like our zine for
who's doing what.
And for our fans, you could be part of the Bones Brigade, and you get the intelligence report talking about the team and the new tricks, and talk about stuff Rodney's doing, what Tony's inventing.
Oh, so it's not only for you guys; it's for
you get them in the mail.
You get them in the mail.
You get in the mail for everybody.
Yeah. Oh. Just gotta sign up.
And then he makes
subscribe.
He makes the one. So I end up winning Upland Pipeline with the trick.
With the trick.
So then Stacy puts it on the cover of the in Challenge Report, and it says Caballero wins the contest with the Caballerial.
Oh, he coined it.
Yeah, because it was the Algarial was a fakie 360 invert.
Okay.
And so Stacy coined it the Caballero. So when he coined it the Caballero, I couldn't get myself to call the trick my name. I felt so embarrassed, like, the Caballerial.
Right.
You do the me, the cab.
Yeah.
I was still pretty shy back then, and I didn't know. I'm like, no.
So you didn't
fakie.
really like it at first.
Well, I didn't like it.
You didn't embrace
being called, I didn't embrace it because I was embarrassed about it.
Right.
So I'd always call it the the fakie 360 ollie. So whenever we would talk about it, and they'd be like, "Oh, you mean the Caballero, right?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So,
I think you've embraced it by now, right?
Yeah, I have. So then, it was the trick.
Everybody was trying it.
They were trying it. So then, I guess Lance and Neil, I think this was after the first contest before in Marina. They go back to Whittier, and they try the trick. They can't do it.
They can't do it.
They can't do it. They just can't figure it out. So it was either Lance or Neil ended up grabbing the board with his forward hand in between their legs.
Okay.
And making it around.
Makes it easier to spin.
Makes it easier to spin, and it stays on your feet. Mm-hmm. And hence, that's where the term the gay twist came. Mm-hmm. Because they thought it was termed gay, that they had to grab
to do this
to
trick.
do the trick, and that's why it was
right.
That's where you get the name the gay twist.
Yeah.
No
yeah.
way.
That's why that has been renamed.
I think it's politically correct. I guess they can't even say that in snowboarding
right
now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but it was the name of the trick.
It was the name of the trick.
Yeah, but didn't you start doing it that way too?
What was funny was that was a new trick. So guess who stopped doing Caballerials? I didn't do it for the longest time. I was doing the gay twist the whole time.
But why weren't you doing your trick?
Because the new trick was that.
They grab it, yeah.
But
grabbing
could anyone do the Caballerial though?
The Hawk could do it.
Oh, okay.
And Staub could do it. Okay, so now I'm getting to where half cab comes.
Oh yeah.
So which is kind of cool and synonymous. Synonymous, is that a word?
I don't know, but it sounds great. I believe it.
Yeah.
I'm not a smart dude. I made that word up. But anyway, so it's kind of cool. The shoe,
It fits.
the term of the shoe and the trick all happened in a 3-year period.
Right.
The Caballero shoe came out 3 years later. The half cab gets
half
invented.
cab.
We make the half cab.
Yeah.
Same with the half cab, the trick. So in 1980, I invented the fakie 360 ollie air. Mm-hmm. And then like 3 years later, Hawk and Staub are fiddling around, and they end up doing the trick halfway. They go up fakie, suck it up, and come down fakie. And they named it, they termed it the half cab.
The half cab. Well, that's amazing that they kept your
Well, it should
name.
be called the half Staub
True.
because he invented it.
Right.
But they termed it half cab.
But that's amazing. It's a
So that's where the word half cab's from. So there's no such thing as a full cab because
that's
the
a
half-
Caballerial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep
But if
saying
you
that
want-
wrong, but I can't.
But if
Tongue twister.
they want to call it a full cab, that's fine.
Do you ever? I always hear like
cab?
someone doing a nollie Caballero, like it's not possible, dude. You can't do a nollie Caballero. It's only fakie.
Yeah.
it's
Lollipop?
yeah. It's like, have you heard that one before?
What do you think?
Well, I believe that a Caballerial or fakie ollie 360 for one has to be an ollie,
Right.
and it was started going backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So it was invented that way, so that
Yeah.
it should be kept that way. So when it comes to like wakeboarding,
Mm-hmm.
rollerblading, BMX, what other sport that tries to do a half cab, you're not doing one
Right.
because you have to ollie.
You got ollie.
And I know I've gotten some grief from the BMXers about
yeah?
me bringing that up.
Oh.
Like they think like I hate them or something because I
Yeah.
brought it up. But come on, dude, you're doing a bunny hop.
Yeah.
You're doing a half bunny hop. Not half cab. You got to ollie.
Right.
You don't ollie on bikes.
Cab hop.
Fake you 180 bunny hop.
Yeah.
Cab hop.
Cab hop. Cab hop.
But I mean, a lot of these BMXers and everything, like, they take stuff from skateboarding. So
Skateboarding's cool.
exactly. So of course they're going to try to name it the same.
Well, it relates to
relates.
It relates to them too, but yeah, they can't ollie specifically though.
You can't ollie.
So what about a nollie cab? Full cab.
I don't think so. I would just be a nollie 360.
Nollie 360.
Yeah, I'd love to take credit for it, but
What about Caballerial
Right.
the other way, like fakie frontside?
Frontside cab.
Frontside
cab.
Caballerial. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That one's tough. You don't see that one too often. Like down stuff.
Bob Burnquist, Tony, and I've seen Bucky do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
geez.
I've never done one, but I still got time. Maybe I can do one
get
for
your
the
name on it.
next video.
Yeah. Still got your name on it though. Yeah, you're good. You're good. So go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I mean, it's pretty cool, man.
I mean,
It's
not that
just-
many people have tricks named after them that have
No.
stood up to the test of time.
And back in the 80s, that's what it was all about, like making up a trick and then it'd be termed after you, like the Algario, the Miller flip, which
Right.
is not made by Chris Miller, but Daryl Miller.
Oh.
You know, and there's been some other tricks named, you know, after
The
McTwist.
The salad.
the salad grind.
Salad grind.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just, like we said, I just seized the moment, man.
Yeah.
I saw it. I envisioned it. I
Sorry,
went
Fly.
for it. You know,
It's great.
and it just
And back then, those things just happened naturally. It wasn't like you're gonna like, oh, I'm gonna nail this trick. It's gonna be named after me. This and that. Like it just kind of, other people have to name it. You can't name it.
it's very organic for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, even when Stacy named it, at least 2 or 3 years later, I still didn't call it
couldn't-
Caballero.
Wow.
I was embarrassed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was embarrassed by it. I don't know.
Were you embarrassed riding your own skateboards?
Never.
Never. Okay.
Never.
Would you wear your own shirt?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember there was a point in the early 90s, mid 90s, where it was all about white t-shirts, blank boards. I mean, it was so uncool to wear your own shirt. It was so uncool to ride your own board.
Yeah.
I mean, that right there that attitude killed the respect and the honor and integrity of even being pro. Because the guys, the Groms that wanted to be that, and soon they were it, I think they were embarrassed about it.
Oh yeah.
They weren't proud of it.
Right.
You know? These were like the fans, the Groms that were looked up to it. And then when they became that, they were like, oh my goodness, like, that's uncool. Like,
Right.
you know? And that's why you got the guys, you know, wearing the white t-shirts and
Blank boards.
blank boards because they just thought, for some reason, it's not cool
Yeah.
to ride your own board. Someone coined it not cool.
Right. And then it just became a trend.
Yeah.
It felt weird. Like, I mean, people thought that you were promoting yourself, and that wasn't cool.
I guess not, but
Yeah.
you have to. I mean, who's going to
some
promote
boards.
you?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, there was a point in time when I turned pro, like I had a little bit of a hard time skating my own board, you know. But then you get over it pretty quickly, you know. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna ride. Who cares, you know? It's like people will see me with my board,
Yeah.
you know. And then when you see somebody else out in the wild with your
Yeah.
board, that's the first time you see that. You're like, that's a trip.
Well, it's a trip to me now, like to see like little kids having my board.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's really cool. Like I'm 54 years old, and they're like representing me. I don't know how they even know about me. Like I'm like 80s dude,
Right.
you know. And
Their
I
dads
guess
are
their
fans.
dads, yeah, their dads have shown them videos, and they've brought them up of
amazing.
where skateboarding came, and so it's really cool.
Yeah.
To it really.
Plus, you had the best graphic on the wall.
And I just feel really grateful for having this longevity and everything in the sport, in the respect, you know, and you know, it's been hard, man. I had to make that transition from vert skater to street skater.
I was gonna ask you about street cab.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and I was just
Street cab ripped.
I was just being
Hell yeah.
trendy.
Yeah.
You know, I was going with the flow. I didn't fight it. I'm like, and I was just a product of my element. So meaning like I didn't even have a vert ramp to skate anymore.
Well,
Like-
vert was dead.
Yeah, I had to drive like 2 hours to Sacramento to get a vert session because they had a vert ramp there at the grind.
Okay.
That's 2 hours from San Jose. I'd go there maybe once a week just to skate a little bit. And then even on the Warp Tour, I didn't skate vert for almost a whole year. And then I'd go on the Warp Tour for a month and I'd start skating the ramp,
Huh.
you know, mid 90s to 2000. That was my vert.
Were you missing it?
Well, I
You-
mean,
I mean, you were-
not really.
No.
Only because
Were you having fun on the streets?
Oh, I loved it.
Oh, you did.
I loved it. It was like a whole like new thing for me. I discovered what rolling your ankle was.
Right.
I'd never rolled my ankle ever. And I'm like, oh, this is why all those guys are like on crutches and
Seriously.
and like, oh, the whole rolling of the ankle, that's a fun thing. You know?
I'm out for a couple months. Wow.
So, and once I learned kick flips, I learned heel flips, and then I learned half cab flips, and then varial flips, and then 360 flips, and I just got on a roll.
Well, not only that, I mean, you're board sliding rails, grinding rails. I mean, you were full.
Well, I loved flat bars.
Flat
I
bars,
loved
yeah.
doing that, you know, frontside, backside, feebles, crooked grinds. And then I just started like trying to progress at it, and I try to like compete against myself like, okay, now I'm going to do a bigger handrail. And we just start searching for the craziest things.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, and in my mind, I'm like, I'm doing this. I got the skill. And I started at skate park rails.
Oh, yeah.
Like my first handrails, long ones, were little ones. I'm like, if I could do this at a park, I can do this on a real rail.
Sure.
You know, and I just started getting that confidence.
What tripped me out is you always like skated big rails with the rails on your board.
And the reason why I did that is because I never wanted to stick on one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you know how I've seen people stick.
Sure.
And it's not pretty. And if you saw the one in tilt mode where I stuck on,
Oh, and slammed to the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was, that rail was so high to get on that I put a launch ramp to it so I could get onto it.
Oh, you
'Cause it was way too high to get on.
Okay.
So I put a launch ramp to it, and it slid eight stairs. It kinked. It curved 20 feet, and then went.
That one. Yeah.
It's in tilt mode.
Right.
And then it went down 13.
What
And
were you
in my
think-
head,
what would you do?
I'm doing it. I'm doing this rail. I was that confident. I'm doing it.
With the turn and everything.
Everything.
Like, I'm going to do, so you had it mapped out in your head.
Yep. And I started doing it, and I started going around the corner. I'm like, dude, I got this. Let's film it.
Mm-hmm.
And we started taking photos, and then I get to the edge, and I start going down, and the third one, it sticks with rails.
With
And
rails.
I
Just
maybe
lean too far forward.
that, and I think maybe it heated up.
Oh.
Because, plastic kind of heats up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, dude, I fell all the way. This was 2000. This was I was trying to film for tilt mode for one, and then I was trying to film for the Bones Bearing class of 2000 video.
Okay.
I was trying to get the craziest footage, you know, because so the Bones Bearings put this thing out where if you had the best video part, you'd win money. You know, so I was like,
Incentivize it.
yeah, I was like, I'm gonna have the best part. I'm gonna do the craziest stuff, you know. And I saw that rail, and I'm like, I'm doing this. And I stuck on the third stair up to 13. I fell all the way to the bottom. I hit my wrist. I hit my head. Hit my knees on the bottom, and I think my fingernail kind of went down and popped my fingernail off.
Oh.
Your
Just
thumb.
Yeah, my thumbnail.
Oh my
Just from that slam.
You got worked.
I got worked.
Damn.
That was my Evel Knievel crash at Caesar's Palace. When people see that bail, they're like, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe you even tried that
Yeah.
rail."
Yeah.
But I was committed. I wanted to do it.
I can't remember. Did you go back and do it?
No way.
You didn't
I was
even
out
have a
for
second-
about a month.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, and I was over it.
Yeah.
And the reason why I didn't go back was that was probably the third time I fell on rails that year. And I'm like, this is 2000.
Okay.
I'm 35 years old.
Right.
Okay. I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Like, what do I have to prove now?
Sure.
Like, I proved myself in the 80s. I'm like doing these crazy handrails in the 90s. I'm 35. I'm slamming on crazy rails. My thumbnails are popping off. I'm hitting my head. I'm like, when is it going to stop?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm over it. That's it. I'm not street skating anymore. Like that.
Sure. I mean, to me, just the fact that you made that transition and then just became this like gnarly street skaters is
It was
unbelievable.
Fun. It was so fun, and it was a refreshing.
Yeah.
And I hung out with the new crews. See, the whole thing with skating, it was all about crews and people you hung out with. And I've been into it for so long since 1979, my crew's changed.
Sure.
Constantly, yeah.
Over the years.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, where do the other dudes go?
Clay just disappeared.
Yeah, he disappeared after one box. One box and he was out.
Right.
I made it.
But yeah, they do change.
Yeah, so the crews changed. And at the time of a street cab, that was a whole era of tilt mode.
Yeah.
Tilt mode and that crew.
That's a
And even that crew changed because
Yeah.
once all those dudes got sponsored, started going on trips, it broke up.
Yeah.
You know? And
They graduated.
they did.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't even think we made another tilt mode video after that, you know?
Those were funny ass
So
videos
good.
and
Yeah.
so good.
It was.
Yeah.
Matt Ebersol was a genius.
Yeah.
And I owe a lot to him covering street cab back in the day. He shot a lot of my video. You know, him and
Matt Ebersol?
Matt Ebersol.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of other filmers too, but he was there
Yeah.
at that time. But yeah, those were good times.
Yeah.
You know, and I wouldn't give it up for anything. And so there was a point when Andy Mack was coming in, and I was street cab at that time, and he was on Powell, and he's like, "Dude, let's go skate a backyard pool," and I can't believe I even said that. This is before the whole Legends thing and everything. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, pools are for fools.
No.
He brings that up all the time. I'm like, dude, pools are for fools.
That's
I'm
amazing.
like, been there, done that in the 70s, dude.
Right.
You're all into it now,
Oh wow!
right? Funny, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Holy
here we
shit.
go.
Yeah.
The Legends
Combi.
team comes up, Combi, all these pool events. Guess who's skating pools again?
Sure.
Put the street board away.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of felt natural to get back into vert skating and skating these bowls and carving and everything. And
Plus, you're with all your old buddies
Yeah,
too, and
that was super fun.
session seems, can seem to be magical. You know, almost
I
like
made that commitment. I'm like, I'm 35. I'm over slamming on like 17 stair handrails and like gnarly, crazy handrail. I'm done. Like,
Right.
I don't need to prove it anymore. I'll skate bowls.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's what I did. So over the years, been doing that, skating some vert,
Yep,
and then I've been missing street cab.
street.
Yeah,
You're gonna bring them back?
Well, every once in a while, I'll throw a clip on Instagram,
Okay,
and it's so funny. I like to talk about in third person.
Yeah.
It's just a joke, But people seem to love it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the street cab makes an appearance.
Street. Yeah.
And I'll add something in there. It's just funny,
Yeah.
and people love it.
Yeah.
They're like, I love street cab, more street cab. I'm like, okay.
How do you feel about the whole Instagram and
I love
social
Instagram.
media?
I love social media. I really had to mature myself with it.
Yeah.
That's another thing. It can go both ways. It can be negative. It
100%.
can be positive, depending on how you receive it and project it.
Right.
I'm all about trying to keep it as positive I can.
Yeah.
What were the first ones? Was Friendster, MySpace?
MySpace.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
learned a lot with MySpace.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it really matured me with dealing with people you don't even know.
Well, plus you had to pick your top 8 too. It's tough, Cab. If you have a bunch of friends.
Well, this whole going back and forth with people you don't know, talking about subjects and opinions and getting in arguments with people.
Right.
And it just
People
really
you
taught
don't
me.
even know?
What's that?
People you don't even know.
Don't
Yeah.
even know. I
Yeah.
think this guy could be 12.
Yeah.
Or it could be 55. Who knows?
Doesn't even have an avatar.
Right.
Just blank picture.
But there's subjects that come up that people want to argue about.
Right.
So I'd find myself arguing with the same dude for like 2 hours, going back and forth, and here my wife and my kids are hungry, and I'm like,
You're like,
I got really into it.
Yeah.
And then I matured. I'm like, you know what? What a waste of time.
Right.
What a complete waste of time. I could talk myself blue in the face. It ain't going to change this dude's opinion.
Sure.
So there you go, the pride again. Once again, I had to humble myself and be like, you know what? If people don't agree with you, that's fine.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
There's no trying to convince. I'm fine with that. So when Instagram came around and there's a whole block and delete, that made it even easier. You know what I mean?
Right.
It made it even more simple that I don't even argue with people anymore. If someone is super rude on my page, which
Right.
is it's my page.
Yeah.
It's not
It's like they're coming into your home
Right.
with dirty feet.
yeah, it's
Getting
not
the
an
carpet
open forum for your opinion. I don't, your opinion matters, but some of them don't matter to me.
Right.
So I moderate everything on my page.
Yeah.
And yes, I like every comment. I try to.
Okay.
If I was at Hawk status, 4 million, there's just no way.
Sure.
No way. But I have enough followers to go through, and I don't get as many as he does, comments and likes, but I can like every single one. And the reason why I like the comments, I want people to understand that I've seen it.
You've seen it.
And I want them to know that I'm acknowledging them, because it's very important for the fans to know that you care about them.
True.
And that's my way of showing I care about you and your comment.
Right.
Now, when I don't like your comment, it's gone. Because
Swipe.
Gone.
Trash.
And if it's really rude, you're blocked. You're gone. There's no arguing. Like, why did you say that?
Yeah.
Like, I want them to one day go like, hey, where'd Cab go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, was it something I said?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I want people to know that there's always a consequence to someone's action, whether it's positive or negative.
Mm-hmm.
And, if they're going to keep doing it, they're going to keep coming up with Instagram pages to comment.
Right.
You're going to keep getting blocked. I don't
Right.
care. I don't, why do you have to be negative?
Yeah.
Why can't you just
Just live your life.
yeah,
and just,
you don't have to troll around and be negative. Let's just
Right.
keep it positive, And my opinion's my opinion. If you don't agree with it, just
Fine.
overlook it.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many pages, like, I don't care about certain stuff, whether it's politics or whether it's people with their energy drinks or pot or whatever religious beliefs.
Yeah.
I don't go like, well, here's the reason why I don't like it.
I always
I'm
say
just
the
like,
same
I just-
thing.
okay, next.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, they don't need to know if they ask me,
Right.
then I'll give it to them.
Right. But you're not just, I say the same thing. I'm not just, why would I go on somebody's page
And just talk shit.
and talk shit?
Because they want to respond.
It's just-
Because people want that attention. So
Right.
the only way to get the attention is to be controversial,
Yeah. Controversial. Yeah.
and also that reaction. That what's the word?
Just try to rile people up.
It just they want that.
They just want a reaction.
They
from
want a
you.
reaction.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've learned and matured to just not deal with it.
Yeah.
So I kept social media away from my kids for as long as I could, because
tough.
I know you have to be mature to deal with that stuff. And I even had to mature myself at a very older age,
Right.
because I was acting immature too, arguing with these people.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's very important to teach your kids how to react to a negative comment.
Right.
Or something that might sound harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The internet is not a friendly place sometimes, but it's also cool too that you've had the experience of navigating through these things to pass that on to your kids. A lot of people don't have that.
Yeah.
They just say, "Oh, just ignore it." They haven't been through it. They haven't been through hurtful comments.
Right.
You've
Insta beef.
whatever it is, you could talk to them through experience.
Well, that's the thing about YouTube as well.
Oh,
I
yeah.
never wanted my kids to look at YouTube channels and stuff, because then they'll start reading the comments.
Oh, yeah.
Remember I told you about
Sure.
the flower? Mm-hmm. You pick a video of a flower, and all of a sudden, 20 comments down, these guys are cussing at each other.
Right.
Over a flower. Really?
Yeah.
It's a world we live in.
Yeah. So, so it just gets negative.
Yeah.
And
You don't
I
have
couldn't
anything.
even go on those skateboard forums, the slap
Right,
one.
right.
I couldn't even go on the moto ones. The moto
the
industry is harsh,
I
dude.
can imagine.
Oh my goodness, those guys are like one guy's cool one day, and then that guy's
yeah.
not cool.
I mean, there's a forum
You
for
know?
everything. Knitting, probably. They have knitting beef.
Yeah, I
It's
bet.
like,
Shit beef.
yeah, crochet beef.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
could see it.
Can we talk about the scoliosis?
Yeah,
You were born with scoliosis, curvature of the spine.
correct. Which is not. It hasn't really affected me as it has affected most
Oh,
people with it. I
Okay.
mean, some have really severe scoliosis
Oh.
where they're kind of like really
Hunched
hunched over or super tweaked. Mine kind of is like an S, but it doesn't. It has nothing to do with my neck
okay.
at all.
Huh.
And the neck thing, we don't really understand where it came from, but one of my glands grew longer than the other one.
Interesting.
So it's a little bit like more thicker and built like it's it's different than the other side.
Huh.
So it restricts my movement going this way.
Your range of motion.
But I can go more this way.
Interesting.
And it kind of pulls my head to one side. So that's why I have that appearance with my neck tilting.
Huh.
You know, and when I was like 10 years old, my dad took me to a doctor, and the doctor said, hey, we could fix that, but we have like a 50-50 chance of your son being paralyzed, or it can be fixed.
I don't know if you wanted to take that risk.
He didn't want to take that risk, and I was okay with it. It was whatever. It's just an appearance thing.
Sure.
Never affected my ability to do anything except for look right. So if I have to move my shoulders, you know why.
So backing up in a car, you'd say, thank God for the screens now. Right?
Yes, and I'm glad we don't live in England, because that'd be a little hard. I'd be focusing on the mirrors more.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, because I don't know much about the scoliosis, but I could imagine, would they maybe want to try to fix that anyway by putting you in a brace at a young age?
It's not as bad as, like I said, the only thing that's affected me is with pinched nerves here and there.
Oh.
You know, and that's happened because like maybe I bent down and lifted something the wrong way.
And it happens to everybody.
Yeah, and I twisted a certain way, and then like, oh man, I got a pinched nerve. It feels like someone's stabbing you in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Never felt that before. And then first time I ever felt it for the first time was, I think I was doing an Algario at Upland in like 84, 85, and it tweaked like that. And I'm like, oh my God, what is that? And it felt like someone stabbing me. And that's the first time I felt a pinched nerve. And that's when I discovered the chiropractor.
Right. yeah. Acupuncture too. You ever do?
I never did acupuncture.
It's great.
No.
I'm a big fan of acupuncture.
Yeah, I saw Lance do acupuncture one time for his knee.
Okay.
He took me to a place where they made him eat this like yellow powder first.
Weird.
I don't know what it was, but they made him eat this yellow powder.
Huh.
And then they were sticking these little needles in his knee. And I was sitting there, and they were sticking the needles in his knee. All of a sudden, he just starts to fall over. He faints. He fainted because I don't know if it's because of the pain or
the needle?
Just seeing the needle go in. But he faints. I try to catch him. He got super heavy. And as soon as he fainted, he started snoring. I'm like, oh my goodness. Is Lance dying right now?
Right. What was that yellow powder?
I don't know, but he fainted. And that's the last time I think he ever went to acupuncture. And I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Did it fix the problem in his knee?
I don't know if it did or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that's my experience with acupuncture.
Okay.
So I've never been into the needles.
Sure.
That's why you see I have no tattoos.
Oh, no tattoos?
No,
okay.
I'm not into it.
Yeah.
I want to be that dude that doesn't have them.
I don't have any. I don't think any of us here have it.
No,
We're all
either.
blank canvases.
Yeah, I just, I think of tattoos like wearing a T-shirt. You're stoked on it, and then get rid of the shirt.
Right.
You can't get rid of the shirt
Yeah.
when you got a tattoo.
Yep.
It's like so many people you see like, I did a cover up because like back in the day I had this tattoo and I thought it was cool, and
Now it's
not cool.
Right.
Ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't want to get addicted to them.
Sure.
Because you get one and you want to get another one,
what
and
they
then your
say.
whole body's covered, and it's like, it's not that important.
You could be Tat Cab.
I'll wear a T-shirt.
Okay.
I'll wear a T-shirt, a hat.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's my tattoo for the day.
Sure. Oh, let's talk about the Faction,
Okay.
your band. You intro song also for the Bones Brigade video show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That first flick came out, what, 83 or 84? What did it say?
Oh, he's
on
got
the
it right
back?
there. 84.
84.
84.
Yeah.
So yeah, first opening sequence is Skate and Destroy. Started the Faction back in 1982 with a few friends from Winchester Skate Park. Where the skate park had closed
Okay.
in 1981. Once the parks closed, there was nowhere to skate. When I say nowhere to skate, I mean like no skateboard park
Right.
in NorCal.
Huh.
They have all closed. I wanted to continue to skate vert.
Right.
So we built a ramp in my backyard.
Okay.
And I wanted to build a vert ramp. And the only thing that I could fit in my backyard was 12 feet wide and a 9-foot high vert ramp. And we built it through the plans that we'd see through Thrasher magazine. And built it with my friends, and we used my friend's Dad's money to help fund some of it. And then when we needed to reply it again, we'd go to construction sites and
Still would.
And this is, before I was 18.
Okay.
And I wouldn't do it after 18 because I knew how much trouble you get. But
Sure.
I remember going to construction sites at middle of the night,
Yeah.
going down the street with 8 sheets, paddling with your board,
Oh,
just
yeah.
going down the freeway like, okay, we're almost home, getting those sheets, because
Yeah.
we didn't really have the money
Yeah.
to pay for them.
Right.
I guess I did, but it was expensive,
Oh, yeah.
So I did that for a while, and then Masonite came out, so I just started buying Masonite.
Okay.
That doesn't last very long at all.
No, it weathered.
Yeah.
It
As soon as it gets wet.
yeah, it would flake, it would chip, it would blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd start getting Masonite burns from
Oh,
the
the worst.
fire. Yeah, it was
Oh,
terrible.
Yeah.
How did the ramp turn out?
The ramp
With
turned
the-
out great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at that time,
Your
It was
ramp was
like
like right up against
1981.
your house, right? Almost.
pretty much up, there was just
Like
a
you can like, stand
sidewalk.
on the roof almost. And
There was a sidewalk, and
yeah.
then eventually we widened it even more, 16 feet, and there was no room,
Yeah.
and cut it down to a mini ramp, which when mini ramp was huge
Okay,
in the late
gotcha.
80s. So now we're skating in my backyard. We're listening to music. Punk rock is huge for me back then. We're going to shows in the city with my friends Gavin and Corey. In his car, we're going to shows in San Jose. We're going to record stores, and I go to this record store, and it's called Dedicated Records, and they sold 45s. And I look at this record, and I'm like, "Well, check that record out. There's a guy skateboarding on the cover. The band's sitting on there, and the guy's doing a kick turn. Jodie Foster's Army. What a crazy name. Who is that? Look
Yeah.
at the back, Cokes and Snickers, beach blanket bong out. I'm like, I'm getting this album.
Right.
Why? Because the dude's a skateboarder.
Okay.
Never seen anybody in punk rock, a skateboarder, playing music.
Right.
So I get the record. It's pretty cool. It's all fast, And I'm like, we got to make a band.
That
See,
was
that's the whole thing. See, that's my attitude. It's like I like something, I see it, I'm like, I'm doing that.
Right.
These guys are skateboarders. They got band. I'm doing a band.
You gonna start a podcast after this?
The cooking show with McGill comes first.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah. So that's my attitude, man.
Okay.
It's like it's always been like that. It's like I see something and I like it. I want to be a
wanna
part of
do it.
that. I'm like, dude, let's start a band.
Did you ever play an instrument before?
Nope, nothing.
Really?
What did you pick up?
I picked up the guitar.
Okay.
I took one guitar lesson. The guy was trying to show me chords.
Yep.
I'm like, that's not punk rock. Like, I don't want to play chords. I want to play
Noise.
one chord distorted. Like, I want to play punk rock. And
Right.
I just never went back.
No.
So then I'm like, man, guitar is really difficult. My fingers were super skinny or short. I couldn't stretch my fingers out
Right.
at that time. And I'm like, what could be easier to play? A bass, because I watch bass players. You only use one finger.
Yeah.
You move it around. So I picked up a bass.
Okay.
Started playing, fiddling around with it. And the way that I learned how to play it is I'd listen to my punk records on headphones and start playing, and learning the songs to the point where I was like, one of the skateboarders was a drummer. So, hey, let's jam out. So we jam out and play. And I was so terrible at music, I couldn't even tune my own bass or guitar. So I'd have my friend who was in a band come over. I'd call, hey, Ray. And this is who ended up being our bass player.
Oh.
Hey, Ray, can you come over and tune my bass so we can play?
Okay.
So he'd come over, tune it, and I'd jam around with my friends. And then so there was a point where I was jamming out with my friends, and we didn't have a singer yet. And one of the skateboarders was Gavin O'Brien from the skate park, and his brother's Corey O'Brien.
Yeah.
Which you remember Corey O'Brien, a professional skateboarder in Santa Cruz,
The
the
flaming.
flaming Reaper.
like a fireball, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's his brother, his older brother.
Okay.
We said, hey, you want to sing?
On the Ritz.
Yeah. So Corey owns the Ritz.
Yeah, with Louis and everyone.
Yep. So Gavin starts singing. I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. He's like, it's kind of like singing, shouting, punk rock.
Sure.
So we start this band, and we start jamming, and we would have skate sessions in the backyard for an hour, going to the house where I had all the band stuff, And can't believe my mom never said anything. Like, we got punk rock playing, and then we got skating, and then we go back and play, and that's how supportive she was. She never said, no, you can't do this.
Wow.
She just dealt with it.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because she was just happy that I was home. She knew where I was at, wasn't causing trouble.
Right.
You were paying the bills?
Paying the bills. That probably helped. Right?
Yes.
So here we are playing, and then all of a sudden we get invited to be on this compilation tape that this guy's making, and we don't have a name. And then all of a sudden, I forgot it was our singer or someone else came up with the name The Faction.
Oh.
So then we called it The Faction, and it was 1982 Halloween that we decided to form the band. And it was a 4-piece at that time,
Okay.
where I played bass. We had a guitar player, drummer, singer. We started, so I remember being in the studio, jamming, writing this 6-song EP for the first time, and I'm playing with headphones and in a studio, recording a record, and thinking, like, I've both been playing for 6 months, and here I'm recording my own record now.
Right.
It was really cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It was what we knew at that time,
Sure.
That's where the music was. And then from that record, we made another record. And from that record, we made an album. And then from that album, our guitar player was like kind of a business type person. His mom put up the money for the first record.
Okay.
And we started IM Records. He booked our first tour. So we toured around the U.S. All of a sudden, we're like, we're going to go on tour. Well, how are we going to go on tour? Well, we're getting, my mom got this van. We're going to make a level in the back where we all sleep at the top, put the stuff on the bottom, and go.
Wow.
Right? Never gone on tour ever in my life. Like, this was 1984.
Okay.
Didn't even do tours with Powell yet.
No.
And the Volvo?
No, nothing. I mean, I'd go to certain places, but never a month tour.
Right.
So we got in the van, all 4 of us, and we toured the U.S. for a month.
Yeah.
And our guitar player booked the shows. And it was so funny because every time we went to a place, people already knew me through skating.
Yeah.
But they wanted to hear the band. And every time we went to a new spot, people would be like, come over to our house. We have a ramp, or we have a studio, or this and that. And they'd be like, you want to spend the night?
Perfect.
Sure. We don't have to get a hotel room.
Yeah.
So then we just kind of went with it. So every show, we'd meet people. And, hey, can we stay the night at your house? And like, who's going to deny the Faction? And then I was already a pro skateboarder at that time from the 80s.
Right.
I was already a big name in skating. Everybody wanted us to stay at their house. So we did this tour for a whole month. And the only time that we didn't couch surf on someone's house was the show got canceled in Chicago or something. So when we showed up in town, we didn't know anybody. We didn't know where to go. But every time we'd play the show, we'd ask. People would like come to show. They'd buy stickers or T-shirts from it. I would sell stickers. I was an entrepreneur back then.
Okay.
Like I knew how to make money. I made stickers from my dad's shop, and I would sell them because people would want to buy them.
Right.
I'd screen my own shirts. I went to Aaron Brothers, bought a screen.
Oh, wow.
And I made my own Faction shirt, and I would screen shirts. I'd buy the Hanes T-shirts from Kmart or
Yeah,
something.
the blanks, yeah.
Screen them, and I'd bring them on tour with me and make money.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's what I'd use to eat.
You're the merch guy.
Yeah. So I did everything.
Would
all
you
that
share
stuff.
the money with the band?
Nope.
It's amazing.
I did all the work. I'm like, you want to make money? You go do that.
How did Stacy feel about you touring with this band and everything and not skating for a month?
But I was skating.
Yeah.
I was showing up skating at different people's houses, and so I was doing my thing. We brought our skateboards. We were we were a skate band.
Right.
They coined it skate rock.
Yeah.
So that was my first, like what would I say? How would I say it? My first introduction to touring and going on the road and being in a van. And we met some cool people. Met Jeff Kendall for the first time. Met a
Ohio?
bunch of pros that weren't pros at the time. Andy Howe.
Right.
Met Pusshead before he was Pusshead.
Okay.
Played with his band in Idaho called Septic Death.
Oh.
Before he was Pusshead. Okay, the
Who-
artist.
Who was he?
Shoot, Brian. His name's Brian. Sometimes I have to remember what his real name is. Brian. But met a bunch of people, and we
amazing.
played CBGBs.
That's sick.
And see, I mean, it's crazy. I want to think back about it because I didn't even care. Like, whatever, playing New York, this club called CBGB's. But I didn't have no clue how famous that club was.
Did you ever open for anyone that actually turned out to be a big band one day?
Well, I mean, we opened up for Social D. You know, I have a whole list on one of our faction CDs that has our singer kept record of every show we played, the date, the place, who we played with.
Oh.
We played with some amazing bands.
Sick.
Yeah, The Exploited, GBH. I mean, and plus I saw a lot of rad bands back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, I got to see Minor Threat
That's tight.
in SF. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, so we did that tour, you know, and we pulled it off. We couch surfed the whole way, all the way to Miami and then back.
And you made some money.
And made money. I mean, I'm not that much money. We with $50 a show, $100 a show. We were playing backyards.
Gas money.
Right.
It wasn't that huge.
Right.
Like this, like no one even knew who we were. They knew who I was.
Plus the stickers and shirts you were selling.
that was you know what? That was food money.
Yeah.
You know, just to help survive.
How did it come about for you to the intro for the Bones Brigade's video show? Was that Stacy's idea or?
Well, he knew I was in a band
Yeah.
and he wanted to use part of our music so I
Okay.
could be a part of it as well. So we used that song from the album.
Sick.
Yeah. And then the next year we toured again. But this time I had switched to guitar. So there's 5 people in the band now.
Okay.
Switched to guitar and we brought an opening act with us. So it was 10 people with us.
Wow.
We tried to pull off the same thing. Try to stay at couch surf on people's. It didn't work all the way because it's a little different going from 4 to 10.
Yeah.
But we tried it, and it worked some places, and it did. And it was it was very cool because those years, 84 and 85, I got the taste of touring,
Yeah.
and we pulled it off, man. We played some really cool shows, and later years down the road, I'm touring with huge bands on the Warped Tour that I look up to now, and I remember them come up to me and like, hey, remember that show you played in Idaho in 1984? I was at that show.
Yeah, right.
You inspired me to play music. And now these guys are huge.
That's insane.
Wow.
You know?
Cab. Look at you.
We're just doing our thing.
Wow.
We're just
Always
doing our thing.
influencing, man. Always.
But we weren't trying to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're just having fun.
Having a good time.
Having a good time and just seizing the moment.
Yeah, of course.
We got a tour. Let's tour.
Yeah.
Just do it.
And it seems like your buddy who was booking all the stuff was super on it too, which
was.
helps a lot. You
Yeah.
weren't just going out.
And we took him for granted because we didn't know how much hard
Sure.
work. I was just playing.
Right.
I was just a band member, but then you know, obviously my fame with skateboarding helped promote the band, so helped bring people in.
Right.
You know, and
When that song was in the video, did it bump it up a little bit too?
I'm not sure
No?
if it did. It might have. You know, but
yeah.
then we stopped playing in '85.
Oh, you did.
We called it quits. So from '82 to '85, we were like, we're done.
It's a
with
good
this.
run though.
It was, and the scene was kind of weird in San Jose. There was a bunch of skinheads running around,
Oh.
and skinheads really know how to ruin a scene.
Oh.
You know, they really know how to ruin the fun
Oh, wow.
out of it. And there was a
Yeah.
lot of fights, and there was a lot of anger towards us. You know,
Really?
like I don't know why, but they hated us.
Huh.
They hated me too.
Really?
Yeah.
That can't be fun.
I'm
Yeah, I
not
could
Cau-
imagine.
I'm not Caucasian.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a Mexican and Japanese.
Wow.
You know, so they just
Not a good scene.
not a good scene.
Right.
And you know, and even in the punk scene, a lot of the spiked hair, the oi bands didn't like us either.
Mm-hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, the jocks didn't like us. I remember getting chased by jocks, like
Really?
street skating, 84, 85, and just want to fight us. Like, you're on a skateboard, I want to fight you.
Right, right.
I want to beat you up.
Yeah.
You got yellow hair. And I went on tour with bleached hair.
Gotcha.
Going through the Midwest with bleached hair, like,
You got a target on your back.
oh my goodness,
Yeah.
like, oh, you ain't from around here, are you, son? Like, you punk rocker?
Wow.
Homosexual? What? You know,
Yeah.
like,
It's-
you know,
Yeah,
not
not good.
cool.
Right.
So it was scary. I mean, being a punk back in the early 80s was not as safe as it is today.
Right.
You had colored hair, you were not normal.
Right,
And
right.
so it was scary.
Wow.
And people did not like you at all.
Huh.
They
Crazy.
did not like you. So imagine being a punk rocker and a skateboarder.
What are you chasing me for?
Which
Which
one?
one?
You got bleached hair. That's why.
Okay,
You got
gotcha.
yellow hair.
Oh,
What do you got
man.
yellow hair for, boy?
Right. And then, but now recently you've been doing a lot of art.
A lot of art. And then, once again,
But you've always drawn. You've always been an artist.
well, always like,
You've
I mean,
always-
skateboarders are artists.
Sure.
We're all artists. I always tell everybody, you're an artist. You just don't know it yet.
Right.
You know, you're just too scared. You're too afraid to discover the abilities that you actually have. Because
Right.
think about it. Put your mind to something, put thousands of hours into it,
Yeah.
you're going to be good
Yeah.
at everything. And I've always
Totally,
had that
yeah.
mentality. It's like, I don't look at things that like,
Scary.
yeah, scary or I can't do it. Unless it's a physical thing.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to be a basketball player. Come on. Okay?
Could
I'm
be a
not
good
gonna
point
a
guard.
You
linebacker.
never know. You never know, so you try.
I'm short.
But I know what you're saying,
The height
though.
limit
It's
of
like,
5'5".
I'm too short.
but it can't hurt to try, right? I mean, you
It
try.
It can't hurt to try.
Oh, it can't.
It can hurt your ego.
Okay.
So before skateboarding, I tried BMX.
Oh.
I loved BMX. I loved Evel Knievel. I loved anything with two wheels. I wanted to be Evel Knievel. He was like an icon back in the day.
yeah.
And I loved him so much that I wanted to make my bicycle look like a motorcycle. I mimicked the movie. Like, I'd set up these ramps with garbage cans pretending they're cars, and I'd go to the end of the block and I'd turn around and check my chain like Evil did in the movie before I pedaled and jumped over the garbage cans.
Yeah.
You know? And I wanted to be a racer. Like, I wanted to race BMX. I show up, and this is before skating. I think I'm 10.
Okay.
I show up at the track, and there's not a bank. You know how they have banks now, and they have the gate where you
Yep.
drop? There's no bank to start. You're starting from flat. Okay? I show up, and I look next to me, and the dude's like 2 or 3 feet taller than me.
You're like, my little legs aren't going to be able to take off.
No, not at all. I did one race. I'm like, over it. Why am I even trying?
Right.
I'm not going there to lose. I want to win.
Yeah.
There's no reason. My body's just not right. See, that's like, you think about those things. I analyze.
But you tried.
I'm an analyzer. I analyze.
tried.
I tried. I go to my friend's house. There's skateboards laying around. I'm like, oh, let me ride your skateboard. You know, and that's kind of
that's how it started.
That's how it started. And then at that time where I lived, there's a lot of thieves and stuff. So I had these cool little mini Schwinns. You know, have you ever seen those Schwinns back in the 70s? They made mini Schwinns.
Okay.
Got maybe
Some-
10 speed.
Yeah, but they had miniature BMX bikes, but mini Schwinns.
Oh,
I had 2 of them. They both got stolen. Never bought a bike after that. So
it's expensive.
I think because, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, too, I didn't have a bike. So I just ride skateboards now, you know?
Yeah. Right.
So everything kind of happens for a reason.
It does.
And I tried the BMX thing, and I would go to the creek and jump and, you know, and go down these hills. And I wanted to do that, but I just didn't have the physique and the body for it, you know? And I was just already told myself there's no way that I could ever excel at this.
Right.
But skateboarding was different.
Well, and too, you say you're a go with the flow guy, you know? So skateboarding was just there and you went with the flow.
Yeah. Well, skateboarding, like I said, gave me this platform to be creative in my own way. Didn't have to rely on a team. I could progress at my own level.
Right.
So when it came to art, around 2003, this whole scene with like Lance and who else was part of that? I think Gons and
Steve Olson is
Steve
doing
Olson,
a bunch of
Templeton.
stuff.
These guys are doing these art shows, you know, together, like skateboarding and art and everything. And I look at that, I'm like, man, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Right. And I did draw at the time. And I, even like in 84, 85, I was drawing like my t-shirts for the faction, drawing stickers, drawing things on the records.
Okay.
So I was doing art. And even Lance did the back cover of Darkroom, 1985. So we incorporated skaters that could do art. Like Gary Scott Davis, you know, GSD?
Yeah,
He
GSD.
drew the cover of our first faction record.
Oh.
Yeah, kind of cool. We kept it in the family.
Sure.
You know, so I drew the inside label for that. You know, but I was not terrible as an artist. I look back and I thought it was terrible.
Yeah.
But we just did it for fun. But then I started seeing these guys do these shows. I'm like, I want to be a part of that.
Right.
Like, I'm going to become an artist. Like, how do you do that? You know? Because I'm an analyst too, and I'm like trying to figure it out. Well,
like there's a formula.
Yeah, there has to be a formula. And over time I figure out there's no formula.
No.
There never will be.
Just do it.
Art is so subjective, and there never will be. You either in the right place at the right time.
Yep.
You become big for some reason or whatever. And I was like, okay, you need to figure this out. Why is that guy popular? Why is that guy popular? Oh, he's got that image. He does that same image all the time. It's recognizable. Do I need to find that image? Do I need to come up with an image?
But you're almost wasting your time trying to figure this out,
I know it works
right?
because it works for them.
Yeah.
So it's like, well,
But it doesn't work for the next artist.
I don't know. I don't know about art. I'm just discovering
You're trying to
figuring out that scene.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? I look at it, I'm like, how boring is that to draw the same thing over and over? There's no growth.
Right.
So if you look at my art, it's all over the board. You know, it's just like whatever I feel like drawing that day. Experimenting with everything. It go from Star Wars to skateboards to dragons to hot rods to motorcycles. You name it.
Yeah.
It's all over the board.
Right.
So that's how I approached it. I approached it like my skating. I'm like, you know, I'm just going to draw what interests me.
And people responded to it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So that's how I've done it. And over the years, I've gained this following and I've learned different skills from looking at different people and getting something from this person. Like kind of like skating. You know how you put your whole style and how you skate? I like this way this guy skates this. I like this way. I'm going to add this, and I'm going to take this trick, and I'm going to use this guy's trick, and this is my routine.
Kind of incorporate it into your repertoire.
And that's how I do art.
Yeah.
You know, I see something, I'm like, I love the way he does his line work. I'm going to practice line work like that. But then I'm going to add my twist to it.
Sure.
Yeah, you could call it copying, you know, but I try to at least twist it a little bit so it's not a complete copy of it. I don't care. I'm not original. Who cares? Whatever.
Right.
I do my thing. I do it my way, and people like it.
Yeah.
And the reason I love doing art because it brings smiles to people's face when they're looking through my art and they're looking through it and they look and they pick one up, and I'm always curious, like, what are they picking up this time? Is it the rabbit, or is it Star Wars?
Really sure. Yeah.
And can I see what it is? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That interests you. You know,
it makes them feel a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I approach art. And like I said, you put hours and hours and hours, and now it's starting to get faster for me. It's starting to get easier, and it gets more fun. So once you start getting a pattern, you start figuring out when you have to use less thought process, because that's the whole thing with art. It's what makes it take a long time is the idea. Mm-hmm. Once you have the idea, then you can put it down.
Right.
But the idea, the thought, the pattern, that's what takes the longest. Mm-hmm. So once it starts flowing.
Just get Well, you always hear about like these musicians who just come up with these songs. They have the idea, and then the words just kind of enter their bodies, and they just write it down, and they have a hit song.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the same thing. You have this idea, and you just kind of let it flow.
Think thought to paper.
Think thought to paper.
Yeah, and with music, same thing. Same experience.
Yeah.
I've come to the conclusion I cannot sing.
Okay.
God did not bless me with that ability.
Right.
And I've tried all different styles.
Oh, yeah.
Different genres. I'm like, I do not like my voice.
I
can shout. I can do background vocals, but trying
punk.
to... Yeah. Punk is easy.
Right.
But good punk is not easy.
Yeah.
And I love melodic stuff. I love stuff that you can sing along to. And I try singing. You know,
yeah.
Hope I don't ruin the songs, but I love harmonies.
Yeah.
You know, and lyrics weren't as important to me. Like back in the punk rock days, the lyrics weren't as important. Like some people really love the lyrics, and they really like it means a lot to them, and that's why they love the song.
Yeah.
It's always been beats and tempos and melodies. The melodies is what caught my eye. I listen to stuff now and I'm like, oh my goodness, there's no way I can play this with my kids around.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I loved it back then, but I don't want them singing those lyrics.
How old are your kids?
9
now?
and 12.
9 and 12.
And
Man,
then
a couple more years you could.
They're already hear the stuff
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be like trying to turn it down when the F-bomb goes up, and I'll turn it back up and like, Dad,
you
I know what
can't-
you're doing.
Yeah.
You know?
They're smarter than you think.
Yeah.
They catch on.
And I have a 21-year-old daughter as well.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay.
And she has a 5-year-old son.
Oh, your grandpa.
I'm grandpa.
How do you like
Grandpa
that?
See the gray?
How do you like that? you like being grandfather?
I love it. I
Yeah.
wish I could see him more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, out of state, maybe.
Live in Sacramento.
Oh, yeah.
Auburn area.
That's far.
So it's pretty far.
Yeah.
But
It's amazing,
it would
though.
be good to be able to just watch him grow up.
Sure.
You know, it's just
Yeah.
a circumstance.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I
Yeah.
had remarried before and then started another family.
Okay.
So, yeah. So now I'm down here. I never thought that I'd be living in Southern California. I mean, I tried to hold down NorCal as long as I could.
Sure.
I mean, I lived there for 49 years, even when the scene was completely dead,
Yeah.
just still trying to hold it down. And then I told myself I'd never leave NorCal until I couldn't afford to live there anymore. And then it actually turned around. It's like my house was so much in value
Sure.
that I was like, we got to get out of
Yeah.
here. I mean, I'm going to come up big time, you know, because I bought in the house that I sold 5 years ago for $300,000 over the asking price. I paid $300,000 over.
You paid through. Why?
I had to.
Seriously.
Okay, so this house that I bought was the 7th house we put a bid on.
Okay.
After losing 6 houses, can you imagine like finding a house, fall in love with it, put a bid in it, you lose.
Right.
Yeah.
So you knew you had to go in hard.
Yeah, I kept upping it up. Okay, we're gonna go $75,000 over. Well, we got third. Because back then you couldn't you just put your offer in
Yeah.
and the guy would come out. Yeah, didn't get it. There was no
Oh.
can you want to up it? They didn't do that.
Yeah.
So it's like you only had one chance. So the one before this one, I bid $150,000 over their asking. This was in 2001, up in NorCal. The prices have gone way up since then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last 5 years, they're way up. I'm like, I'm over it.
It's time
I'm
to get
over
out.
it. I'm getting this house. I'm paying $300 over. So a house that I paid was on the market for $800. I paid 1.1 for.
Damn.
Fast forward years down the line, I saw my assessment bill. The house was worth 1.25. We're going. I just came up
Yeah.
and we decided to come down here because I bought a house down here for less,
Yeah.
bigger, and brand new. Like the house that I was selling in Silicon Valley, which is where the computer techs are and the prices are up. It's 47 years old, falling apart,
Yeah.
2,500 square feet.
Home repairs. the
Everything
whole
was
thing.
it was as is. You sold houses as is there, and cash deals.
Yeah.
Right. You only went for cash deals. No, you got to sell my houses. You went for cash deals. So I had a really aggressive realtor, and we played it smart. Like I knew
Richard
it was.
Mulder.
What's that?
Richard Mulder.
Oh yeah. I don't know how good of he is, but this guy was smart, and we knew it was at 1.2.
Yeah.
But we put it for 1.1.
Oh.
So we got multiple people interested in bidding.
Starting bidding war.
And it ended at 1.35.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, because they wanted this house. And then I ended up buying this house in Carlsbad for 1.1.
Brand new.
It was 12 years old versus 47.
Oh, I see
It was
what you're
brand
saying.
new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
And,
comparison.
and huge. 4,000 square feet.
You got an extra room down there?
I do, actually. I do. I'm single, so I do.
See?
This is in San Diego? Where is this?
In Carlsbad.
Carlsbad.
Wow.
And the schools.
Oh, they're great schools
Oh my
down
goodness,
there. Huh?
9s and 10s.
see.
From elementary to middle to, the schools are so amazing down there. Like, I feel like my kids are going to private school for free.
Right.
They're so good.
Huh.
and I just love the area. And I didn't even know it was the skate mecca too.
Oh no.
I had no
yeah,
idea
yeah.
where Tony lived. I had no idea that Staub lived there. I had no idea that McGill was just around the corner.
So you guys are all neighbors.
We are.
It's amazing.
Super close. And I didn't know these people had private facility. I knew Bob had his. I didn't know about Tony's Ranch. I didn't know about
Tony.
Bucky's.
Oh wow.
I didn't know the area.
Okay.
And when I moved in, it was like, oh my goodness, like there's so many skateboarders and pros here. And back in San Jose, I'd have to like, wonder what time this guy's getting off work.
For sure.
Yeah.
Fedge, what time are you getting off work, you know, to go skate the ramp in Berkeley, which is an hour away.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And like, I had to try to find a session. Okay. Here, when I moved down here, I was
Phone's constantly
denying sessions. Like, hey, you want to come skate my ramp? No, I'm going to Bucky's.
Right.
Hey, you want to go skate Hawks ramp? No, I'm going to Encinitas over here, the Poods. Like, it was crazy. It complete change from 5 years
Right.
ago. I was like, man, I should have moved down here like 15 years ago. You
Guys
know?
running into Tony Hawk buying coffee.
Yeah, it's cool. So I love SoCal. I mean, I'm born and raised NorCal, but
Yep.
I love where I live now, and I love the opportunities. And the one thing that made it even better was closer to my sponsors,
Yeah.
especially Vans.
Mm-hmm.
So like making a trip to LA for a premiere or Huntington Beach an hour, LA an hour and a half,
Not
here 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Depends on time you
Down
go.
the traffic.
Yeah.
When I lived in NorCal, it was like a hotel, a flight.
It's a whole thing.
You know, it's 7 hours away. It made things really difficult. So,
And plus a nice change of scenery.
by the
Warmer.
beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely warmer. Definitely skate all year round. And not like there's outdoor facilities and there's indoor facilities. And
Take your pick.
over the last 5 years, there's more stuff being built all the time.
Isn't it insane?
Yeah, the training facility just is 5 minutes from my house. Linda Vista opened up.
Yeah.
City Heights, Poods had just opened up. I mean, Alga's 4 minutes from my house.
Oh yeah, that park's good too.
It's insane.
Yeah.
You're living it.
Paradise.
Yeah.
Paradise.
Still getting those
North
shoe
County.
royalties, bro.
Vans, we need a meeting.
Listen, bro, I want to thank you because you gave us some artwork
Yes.
here. I
Very
want to
much.
thank you so much for that, and some Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
You know, the little cab Hot Wheels.
Pretty cool.
I'm gonna,
Thank you.
Who would
very
ever
much.
thought, right?
dude.
Played with Hot Wheels in the 70s. Got spanked by that orange track from my parents. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
usually a whip.
Yeah.
You're like, I had that in a
was the
loop.
belt. Where's
That
the
was,
belt? Where's the belt? Oh, here, get the track.
Yeah.
Smack.
Oh jeez.
And now I have my own Hot Wheels character.
Seriously.
It's insane.
Wow.
And you gave each of us some artwork here. You gave Raj one, me, Kelly. Thank you
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
for that.
Thank you very much.
I'm gonna see what the going rate is for on eBay.
Yeah.
But listen, anything else we need to cover, bro? This is you have anything coming up in the pipeline, or what do you got going on
I'm working
now?
on this clothing company
Oh,
called Cab Dragon.
Cab Dragon.
Hasn't really started yet.
Okay.
We have the logo. So hopefully that pans out.
Yeah.
The dream is to, I'm kind of like, I'm digging the whole Hype Beast limited edition, kind of
yeah.
like that whole hype with this brands. And I like that whole Fairfax street with all the different brands. And you got Supreme, you got Bathing Ape, and you
Yeah.
have it'd be a cool dream to have a store there.
Yeah.
Cab Dragon store right on Fairfax.
And also, too, you've had success doing limited edition boards with your artwork on it, too.
Yes.
That's
been
amazing.
super fun. Some of the graphics, people would ask, hey, can you put this on something like a deck or something? So I've been releasing that on my website.
Yep.
I have a personal website, stevecaballero.com, that I sell most products that have my signature name on them.
Okay.
And even when I started that with my partner who lives down the street from my house, I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I didn't do this 10 years ago.
Sure.
Because now when I buy a board from Powell, which I only get $1.
Uh-oh, still. Come on, bro. We got to talk. We got to.
Well, actually the reissues I get more because George upped the ante to get McGill, Hawk.
Right.
Did they tell you about that?
No.
No, we get a higher royalty for those reissues.
Perfect.
Obviously, they're more expensive.
Yeah.
But because they got the higher royalty, I've been able to achieve that as well.
Oh, perfect.
But on the normal board, it's the same amount, you know. With the other boards, the current boards, like the racer
Yeah.
board,
Oh yeah.
the cab racer board, the flat track one. But selling it as a shop, I mean, the markup, you know, I make like $15 off a board that I would only make $1 because I
see,
kind of
yeah.
split it with my partner.
Okay.
So we're making like for a shop, you know,
Yeah.
you buy it for a certain price, you double it or whatnot, and then you can make $30 to $40 a board.
But the limited edition boards that you make
That's
too,
separate.
that's separate.
That's separate.
And how many of those are you making?
Only make 100 of those.
100 of those. You said that one of them sold out in 20 minutes.
The last
on your
one that we
website.
just made, I'm making a series. This was the third one in the series. It's Star Wars theme.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have a clue the effect, but because of the popularity of the first two and continued repeat buyers, that board sold out in 20 minutes. We
That's
made 100 of
incredible.
them. And I look at the board and I say, hey, this is a very expensive skateboard, but a very cheap art piece because it's made in the USA. The boards
Screened.
are screened and printed. It's silk screen.
Yep.
The woods, you know, it's pressed here. It's made in San Diego. It's
And
U.S. made.
It's an art piece.
It's an art piece.
Not
It's
Powell?
not,
Not Powell?
it's not Powell. But the way I'm selling them is wall hangers.
Yeah,
not
of
really made.
course.
I mean, I sell them for $150. So
Yeah.
it's like, would you want to buy a $150 board and then scrape the graphic off?
Right, right.
That quick?
People aren't doing that.
So I think I'm hoping they're buying as art pieces to
Yeah.
hang up. Like since you like kind of because they are. I mean, if you look at some of the graphics on boards, they're art pieces. You like,
Yeah.
I want to preserve that. So that's how I kind of present that, you know. So we're just going to continue doing this.
Yeah.
You know, I definitely got some heat from Powell making these decks. We got the call.
Competing,
It's
yeah.
another. I might quit again.
Number 4. Number 4.
No, but I try to explain to George, hey, I'm not competing
This is-
against you.
this is
just
art
an
stuff.
art thing. It's just
Right.
done on a skateboard.
Yeah. Right.
It's not going to affect the reissues.
Sure.
You know, only 100 people get them,
Yeah.
but they're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. You've been very successful. You've made a lot of money. You're a smart guy. Have you been smart with your money, investing and saving and doing all that stuff?
Sometimes I've made some good investments, some
Okay.
bad ones.
Oh, well,
I've been married twice.
Oh,
Too bad. Because
man.
Getting a divorce, it kind of
It's not cheap.
it's not cheap, and it actually you have to start from square one again.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
That's the only bummer about getting divorced. I
Right.
never wanted to get divorced.
Yeah.
You know, it just happens. You
Yeah.
know, and it's just one of those things.
Sure. Right.
You know, but yeah, that puts a damper on your finances.
Yep.
And it definitely helps you rethink what you have to do
Yeah.
to get to that place. And I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I don't really put too much emphasis on that. I'm like, you know what? I'll pay what I have to pay.
Yep.
Is what's legal, what's fair, you know, and
Yep.
call it a day. Go our separate ways, and I'll find new ways to make an income.
Yeah, for
You know?
sure. For sure.
And-
I think, you're a lifer at Vans. That's obvious,
I hope,
you know, so.
I hope they want to continue because you know I'd love to see a little bit more push.
Yeah.
With the half cab, it's just sometimes I get frustrated walking into a van store and then there's just one. There's one colorway.
Right.
When I look at all the other shoes and there's like tons of other colorways, you know, and it's just like, well, why would you not push this shoe, which people like?
And now is the time to do it too.
Come on, man.
I think it's Roger's favorite shoe of all time.
yeah, all time.
Awesome.
All
Thank
time.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I never skated in Vans.
No?
Can you believe it? I mean, I was always like DVS and these other companies too, so I never really got. But they're sending me some shoes now. I gotta.
it's a good skate shoe.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely does, you know, I mean, obviously people have their opinions of like how long it should last.
Sure.
What it should feel like. And you can't please everybody. But we've done some good collaborations. Like, so Vans has backed me many years.
Yes.
But they've slacked many years.
Right,
And they're
right.
slacking.
Yeah. Like I said, now's the time to do it,
They're
man.
slacking.
Push.
Yeah.
You know?
And the only reason why I know that it's being slacked is I see the royalties where
Yeah,
they're at.
sure.
And I know where they could be.
Right.
You know, because like my son can't even like get the shoe in his size.
Oh.
They don't even offer it.
Right. You know,
That's
I think,
potential
what
sales,
about
right?
some art collab? I mean, it's your shoe, but what about some new, like maybe insoles or some different, you know, put your art on it, put your touch on it, you know?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
They have my number.
Okay.
They know how to reach me.
Well, I'm just saying, sometimes you got to push.
I've pushed.
Okay.
But you can only push so much, and then you just kind of let it go.
I'll give him a call. You know what I'm saying, Cal? I'm on your side.
No, I've pushed and pushed, and I've had conversations, and you can only leave it at that.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
I mean, I have a meeting room at Vans that I haven't even used yet.
What do you mean? You have your own meeting room?
Yeah, we have like one that's
The
a
Alva
Steve
room,
Caballero.
the
There's-
Cab room, yeah.
You got
there's
a
a Grosso one. There's a Lizzie, Alva.
Just go in there and sit by yourself and see if anybody comes in.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm
right.
waiting for my meeting.
I love Vans.
Yeah, they're
I
great.
love Steve Van Doren.
Yeah.
I mean, he always has the best interest for me, and he always sticks up for me. Anything.
Yeah.
You know, he's always had my back for a long time. He's one of the reasons why I've stuck with Vans.
And like you said before, though, it's like you've waited and these opportunities kind of come and formulate out of, you know, like you said, like the Tony Hawk thing, you know, the video game, the shoe, you know, the royalties on that. Like things just, you know, you never know.
Be patient.
The patience, you know, something could pop off.
Yeah.
Patient
never
and
know.
You know
loyal,
what
dude.
patience means, right?
Oh, no, what?
In the Bible, it's called long suffering. There's been a lot of long sufferings.
Trust me. I think we
Yeah.
all...
So if a person's really
I'm
patient,
going through
they,
right now.
they know how to
They've
suffer for a long time.
Right. Yeah.
So practice that, man. Long suffering.
It could pay off, though. Could pay off.
Yeah.
Listen, dude, this has been incredible. Cab, we could sit here for 12 more hours, you know.
I don't know if my butt can handle it.
I do feel bad because how's your leg doing sitting in the chair? You're good?
It's doing okay. It's
Okay.
a little stiff. And,
Little stiff.
But I'm stoked that I'm on crutches, that I was able to get here, drive here.
Right.
Appreciate the fact that you reached out.
Well, when I reached out, I didn't even expect, you know, you to say, "Oh yeah, I can do it," you know, in a week or so. I was like, I was thinking in my head like, "Oh, maybe in a month or so," and he's
Yeah.
up and walking around, and I was like, "Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
next week, sure."
Well, I just started, you know, like on the crutches. So
Okay.
I started getting around and
He's a go-getter.
He gets
Hell
up and
yeah.
goes.
seize the moment.
Seize the moment.
And I've been
Yes.
waiting for this moment.
How do you think it lived up to good?
You guys have a great show.
Thank you,
Thank
bro.
you.
Did you get
I
everything
appreciate
out that we wanted to get out? Or you know what?
I meant
Round 2 is always on the table.
I'm satisfied. I meant we went over a lot of different, you know, subjects.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, there's lots of facets of my life, and that's because I choose to have that. I just want to let people know that just don't be afraid to step out of that comfort zone.
Sure.
You know, and that's the beauty of life, and a beauty of a human being is you can make that choice.
Yeah.
No one's stopping you except for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't need drug enhanced things to step out of that shell. But our society promotes it. It's
Yeah.
like, you got to loosen up, bro.
Right.
Have this, have that. You can't do it without this. I mean, the doctors try to give me drugs for the pain. I know how bad those drugs can get. I've heard
Real
people
quick.
people get hooked on them after they leave the hospital.
Yeah.
I said no. I'm like, I'm not going there.
Just some Advil, maybe. Just some
I
normal
did ibuprofen, and I even
ibuprofen.
like stopped that when I got home.
Okay.
Because I just didn't want to get addicted to any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I know how easy it is because you just want to. People don't want to deal with pain, and sometimes we have to deal with pain.
Yeah.
It makes you really appreciate not being in pain.
Very true. Very true. Yeah.
For sure.
You know, and some people just don't want to go there because they're afraid. But you got to get over your fear.
Yeah.
You know, that I always say with skateboarding, it's 99% mental and 1% physical. Because you can be the most talented person in the whole world, but if your mind's saying, no, I'm not doing that,
It's
I
not
don't
gonna
care how
happen.
talented you are.
Yeah.
You ain't going there. You ain't
Yeah.
doing it. And you're missing out.
Yeah.
You're missing out.
Yeah.
So just grow some cojones, man. You know, and step up.
Live in the moment.
Live in the moment.
Yeah.
And, you know, learn from the past, and the future's bright, you know, and we make our own choices. And if there's a place that you're at in life and you don't like the way your life is going, change it. Yep. People say, well, that's so much easier said than done. Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
Get off your ass and do something.
Just do it.
Do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys decided to do this show.
It's crazy.
Did someone like force you to do it?
No, I'm regretting every minute of it. No, nobody But it's true though. We got
a vision. You want to do it, and look at you're on
155.
55. And
I thought we were only the last 9.
Really?
I didn't think people wanted to sit around and listen to skaters talking. But we said, let's do this. Let's try it. There's something here.
Well, I mean,
you know,
there are people that follow and want to know, and
100%.
you know, it's about being educated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you get the right people who have the maturity and the knowledge and the wisdom, it's going to help somebody.
Yeah.
In some way. So you guys are you're helping people.
It's helped me.
Yeah.
You know,
is it like psychiatry?
It's no.
Therapy,
Is it like
It is like
is
therapy.
this like skate therapy?
It is
Almost, yeah.
A lot of people that get up from that chair was like, "Whoa, that felt like therapy. I feel better." But I mean, it's helped because I love learning about stuff, you know. And I was never a super fan or a skate nerd or this or that. So, you know, I learn every time I sit down in this chair, you know, and I want to learn more.
Well, it's crazy to hear these stories because like, I grew up watching you and hear the stories behind it all. It's like mind blowing. Yeah, we have no idea. We're just kids watching you on the videos and stuff like that. Yeah. So to hear what you went through is amazing.
Well, you're hearing my version,
right? Yeah, of course.
I've never heard your version.
Of course.
Never. I told you, there's always 3 sides.
Yeah. True.
Three
Mine,
sides.
His or hers, and the truth.
Yeah.
You got my version today.
That was It's funny too because the more people that come on the show, the dots start connecting too with people's stories, and it's like ties everything. So if you watch like Lance Mountains or this or that, like your stories are all getting his side and your side, and they all the dots. Like I love that.
Yeah, and it's cool. And I watched the show, and it's nice when people recognize, other pros recognize you and mention you as well. Sure. And it's like, oh, that's cool. I affected that person in that way. You know, that they're going to mention myself there. You know, and that's what it is. It's about affecting people's lives and being the best role models you can, because we're in charge of that. You know, and I've always felt like that's super important as a role model. To watch what you say, to watch what you do, because people are always looking at you. They're always looking at every single thing you do.
Right.
And it's so easy to bum somebody out. And when you're not even trying to do it intentionally.
Totally.
You can, and what I've learned in this world, you cannot please everybody.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
So just do your thing. Make sure it's not harmful to most people. But even when you're doing your thing, and, you know, like I posted a thing on Instagram about, you know, drinking juice, like eat healthy, because, you know, don't allow your taste buds to control what you're putting in your body. And someone's like, yeah, but you have a plastic cup.
Oh,
you're like,
you know what I mean? It's like, don't focus on the cup, please.
Right.
I can't save the world. I'm not perfect. I can't do everything that you want me to do, but hey, I'm looking out for my body. I'm putting the better things in it, because I want to still perform and still be exciting for what you want to see out of me. You know, I want to keep going. I want to influence people, you know. So even with this injury, I want to show people that a person over 50 can come back, even with this adversity. And I'm not bummed about it. Right. You know, given being in the hospital and not being able to go to the bathroom it's a eye-opening experience.
Sure.
Like you really appreciate walking,
the
going
things
to
you
the
take
bathroom.
for granted.
Yeah, you know, so it can be taken away from you in an instant.
How long were you in the hospital?
Almost 2 weeks to the day.
That's a long time.
Jeez.
And the food is terrible. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
it's
but your food sucks.
You couldn't have somebody else bring in you?
They did.
Yeah,
that was a
after while.
lifesaver. And you know, you always say, you know,
Cab, your Postmates is here. Like,
no, like the people in the hospital were getting jealous. Like the nurse, like, what are they bringing you now?
Right.
Sushi, pho.
You guys get Nobu flown
burritos.
in. Yeah.
Like
Rico's burritos. What?
yeah, and you know, people always say like, yeah, you know who your new friends are when you get hurt. People come around, and you know what? That goes by how you are as a person. How did you affect this person when you were not hurt?
Sure.
Or you didn't need them, you know? So it really showed me like that I'm doing the right thing as far as affecting people's lives, where people want to come visit me and bring me gifts and help me out.
Right.
And I appreciate them with all my heart.
Yeah.
But the reason why they're coming is because of how I treated them when I wasn't hurt. So when people say like, well, you really know how your friends are when you're down and out, it's like such a negative like tone to it. It's like, well, how were you when you weren't?
Sure.
You know, how were you to these people? Is there no one coming around?
I wonder why.
Think about it, right? So just be cool, man.
Yeah.
Like just love on people and just be as generous and just give people the time of day. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's huge.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Solomon Agah taught me one thing a long time ago that I never really noticed, but when I started skating with him over the years, I noticed that he would go to a session and he would introduce himself to people there. Mm-hmm. Not just go there and do their own thing. He would go out his way to introduce himself. I'm like, you know what? That's so cool. Because people are so, remember I told you about people being afraid?
Yeah.
So just think of like your peers or someone you look up to. You're like, you're not going up to that person.
Yeah.
Like, you want to say hi to this dude, but you don't want to bother him.
And they know who he is, but he's introducing himself.
So can you imagine someone you don't even have to try that you look up to, come up to you and say hi? So I looked at that. I had a lot of respect for that. So I started doing that same thing.
It's amazing.
You know?
Yeah.
And people with their headphones in their ears, just in their own little world, it's like it's cool for them and what they do, but it's very selfish and self-centered because skateboarding is something you should enjoy with people.
I agree.
You know, it's a lot more fun. So when you're in your own little world with your headphones, you're just out there by yourself doing your thing. When you're missing out on like the joy of like this person doing this too, and like encouraging you to do this.
Yeah.
And you can't even hear people clap for you.
That's the right thing to say.
Yeah.
Listen, dude, this has been. Can we give you some 9 Club stuff to take home with you and coffee? I know you're a big coffee guy.
Yeah.
You know, we got mugs, we got shirts, sweaters.
Thank you.
Raj. Kelly's got a
Medium.
Medium?
Yes, please.
And that's another great thing about this show. Everybody can find out what their favorite pro's shirt size is.
No. Like we need more t-shirts. That's another thing. Like I got so many t-shirts. People send them to me all the time.
I know.
And it's hard for me to say no.
Yeah.
Like it'd be rude. Like, hey, dude, I want to give you a shirt. I'm like, well, I'm not interested and I'm never going to wear it. Here,
Right.
yeah, give it to me.
Well,
Like, and they stack up, you know,
yeah.
and that versus my sponsor stuff, I have to give away a lot of stuff all the time.
And that's the thing too, is because I mean, coming up, free product, bring it on.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like I don't want anything. I'm gonna take what I'm gonna use or wear.
Yeah.
Because I don't want. First of all, I don't want to waste your product.
Right.
You know, you guys got to make a living too. Let me just take what I'm going to use, or send me this. You know.
Well, if you want to give my art away, it's fine.
I told you I'm gonna look on eBay. See how much that thing's worth. No, I'm trying to.
We're not giving that away. We're
I'm
gonna
gonna sell that.
If you want to sell it to raise money for your show, go for that too.
No, I'm trying to get a Tesla, bro.
Oh, okay. Teslas. That's the new thing, huh?
I don't know. I just like that car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you a car guy? Are you?
I am, but
yeah?
I'm about hot rods, old stuff.
That's right. We were talking before the show. You got
I have a 1935 Ford.
Okay.
And I have a 1965 Ford Econoline truck. I
Oh, wow.
love old.
You like the old.
hot rods. I love old bikes. Anything vintage is super cool.
Yeah.
As far as modern stuff, I drive a 2006 Toyota Sienna van.
Okay.
minivan.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm a soccer mom.
I know. It's funny. I walked outside to get you, and you're like, I'm out front. I'm like, in the van? You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
I'm sorry, do your kids skate at all?
My daughter skates, the oldest one, and my son is really into skating, Caleb. He's 12. And my youngest, 9, Clover, she rolls around every once in a while. But Caleb is really into skating.
Is he?
And it's just made me really proud to see, how much he's advanced. And he's got the same temperament as me. He won't just go for stuff. He's very analytical and doesn't want to get hurt. So he's very cautious. So there's some things that he's super cautious with, and then there's some things he just does first try.
Oh, really?
So it's all about the confidence and knowing what your abilities.
Okay.
So he sometimes he won't go there.
Huh.
And I think sometimes he may feel like I'm pressuring him. So I try not to be that dad that's always pressuring him, but I always come up with suggestions. Hey, why don't you try sliding that?
Yeah.
And he'll give me that look like, dude, Dad,
You don't know what you're talking
do I
about.
have to do it? And I know he's trying to impress me. So I try to make that balance. Like, okay.
What is like the skate? Is he a skate?
He skates street.
He skates street.
He doesn't like to wear pads.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He just feels uncomfortable with them. But I make sure he wears a helmet because he's fallen without a helmet a few times. I'm like, dude.
He's only 9, right?
He's 12.
Oh, he's at the 12-year-old?
Yeah, and he's got, I'm like, dude, you just wear the helmet because,
Sure.
it's going to save you.
Yeah.
And I just told him, man, I wore pads my whole life, and that's why I can skate at 54.
Right.
Right. My knees are fine. They're fine.
Crazy.
Yeah. My femur's broke.
Yeah.
I was like,
That doesn't work.
Yeah.
Does he skate? Does he skate your board?
He does.
Because I was assuming it's got your.
It's got his last name on it.
It's got his last name on it.
No, but he's skated like McGill skate shop boards. He's skated like a Supreme board before. He skated other people's boards, which I don't care. I mean, he's his own person. He doesn't have to skate Powell. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have to skate Indy.
Yep.
But I will offer that stuff to him because, come on,
it's free.
It's free. It's like, why do you want me to go buy this? But I will give him what he wants. If he sees a board, hey, Dad, I want to ride that board. Okay. See if I can go trade one of these Powell boards.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. Listen. Here's some. Oh, first of all, here's a mug.
Yeah.
Another
burning mug.
Burning mug.
Nice.
That's fan of our show drew that. Sam Pearson.
Rad.
This is a Kelly mug that Mark Appleyard drew. Mark Appleyard drew that.
Me as Andy Mack.
I've heard you guys talk about
that's
it.
That's Andy Mack.
Yeah.
That's him as Andy
I've heard
Mack.
you guys talk about it, but you don't show it. I don't see it.
Oh.
When you show it like this, it's like, oh, and he drew that. I'm like, oh, I wonder what that looks like.
Really? Where's
You're
that?
looking at it.
Well, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we never. We don't even think about that.
I should watch more shows.
Oh,
maybe.
You don't really just listen to the show or watch them?
I listen to the one coming up because I'm driving. But since I've been laid up,
Oh yeah.
I can sit and watch and ice at the same time.
Yeah.
So I've definitely watched more shows being laid up. So see,
Yeah.
We're there for you.
it helped. Positive thing, breaking your femur.
Well, we have it on both, YouTube and podcasts because we wanted people drive. They have these commutes. Here's a medium 9 Club shirt for you.
So cool.
There you go. And of course, bro, we have to give you the my Switch Flip Manny shirt on the courthouse stage. That's
Street Crob.
That's Street Crob.
Rad.
Yeah. Never really been any other Crob, but
Been podcast Crob.
Oh, podcast Crob.
Yeah.
Here's a 9 Club crew neck for you.
Thank you.
Raj, that's a large. Got the wrong
That's
one.
okay.
We'll switch it out. The warehouse is right there.
You know what? Actually, large is probably better. I like sweatshirts more
A little
baggier.
bit. Yeah. I agree.
I've only started wearing medium shirts because I'm trying to get down to that 80s weight.
So
you're forcing yourself?
You're
Trying to, so it's working. The cab salads are working.
Cab salad.
And that's another joke. But people love it.
Yeah. And then here's a media. We'll exchange it. The warehouse is right there. So you could go raid our warehouse, whatever you want, bro. 9 Club hoodie.
Thank you.
There you go.
Appreciate
Embroidered.
So cool.
Listen, Cab.
This has been awesome.
Yes, it's been an honor.
I love it.
Yeah.
Bro.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
Appreciate it.
Very humble, just nice, genuine dude.
Appreciate it.
I love meeting you and hanging out, I wish you could stay here all day. Wish we can go grab lunch.
Let's go grab lunch.
Oh, I thought you had to go back home.
What time is it actually?
3:00.
2.5 hours.
What if we order Papa John's?
We
I
could
know
go-
you're not just trying to. Okay, well.
If you want to get lunch, I mean,
He's trying to get the
when
salads,
am I,
dude.
When am I gonna?
Yeah, I need a cap salad.
When am I gonna have lunch with you again?
I don't
Ever.
know.
Let's go.
If you're down, I'm down.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Me and Cap, we're gonna go to lunch. Hey, pleasure,
Conversation.
Thank
pleasure,
you.
Cap.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
you so much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Kelly.
Thank you, Steve.
Hey, good luck with everything. And dude, seriously, so stoked that you came by, with the future art, the half cab renegotiation.
The whole advertisement
Yeah.
program.
Yeah.
I think you can build a team around that.
Raj has a good idea. Could build a half cab team.
Because there are dudes that just look great in half cabs.
Seriously.
Like Fred Gaw looks amazing in half cabs.
He is.
Kim Cardona looked amazing in half cabs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those guys were dedicated
Yeah.
supporters.
Yeah.
I have always appreciated it. And Ricky Iola,
Yeah.
those guys, I appreciated those guys
Yeah.
a lot. Even Stevie Williams. You
Oh
know?
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Keenan
Seriously,
would have such
Keenan?
good
Yeah.
footage in that.
Yeah.
those
Yeah,
too.
I mean, anyone who's worn the half cab and liked it,
It's amazing.
very appreciative. I mean, because they're the ones that made it what it was.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, all those guys like John Cardiel. I mean, everyone. Henry Sanchez, Carroll.
Yeah.
All those guys that wore it back in the day. Danny
Knew that shit what it
Way.
was, yeah.
Always promoting it and on the covers of magazines and stuff. So definitely, they're the ones that brought it to where it is today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And for Vans keeping it in the line too, it's pretty cool.
It's incredible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And we've had some really, really great collaborations. When you talk about collabs,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we did a Metallica collab.
Yeah.
We did a Star Wars collab. We did
That'd have been awesome for you.
Supreme collab.
Oh, there you're right.
Yeah.
Peanuts.
Peanuts.
Yeah. Charles Schultz.
Wow.
Yeah.
The 9 Club's going to be the biggest hit, though. You know?
Man.
Could you
That would be
imagine
so
a 9
sick.
Club half cab?
I would love
Yeah.
that.
All right.
Fucking love that.
That'd be
Let's
so
do it.
Just a
cool.
bright orange half cab. No.
I have my hand up.
Us all.
Yes, please.
It's unanimous decision. Well, I need a gavel. It's unanimous. No, but seriously though, this has been amazing.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Cab. We're gonna go get food.
I don't know, but I was just thinking is the shoe going to be orange and black, or is it going to be a black shoe with orange highlights?
Black
We can
shoe
get weird with it.
with orange highlights.
Okay.
That's the way I envision it. Everybody's different though, but I want you to put your spin on it as well.
You gonna have a white
Dude,
sole
true
or a
collab.
black sole? What are we going with the sole?
No, white.
White sole.
Can't do black. Soles.
But what about there's white in the logo? It's got to have white somewhere.
We got white soles. We got.
Let's sit down with the design. We'll
Yeah.
We need to sit down with the head designer
Okay.
down
It's
there.
crayons.
That'll be the
Yeah.
meeting, my first meeting.
In the cab room.
Yeah. In the cab room at the headquarters.
Let's go.
Okay. Got that, you guys? Let's do it.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Tuesday.